Hello, Internet. Welcome to a wonderful, wonderful episode of Popcorn Chicken, where we are going to be discussing the the ever-waited finale of a show that somehow got money, called Willow, and we're gonna talk about that for as long as we can. So I can't do this alone. So grab a drink, sit down, relax, and here's Elvin, and here's Nathan.
I wish you did it alone.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
can take
you
a day
tried
off.
getting out of it last week.
I did get out of it last week. Oh man,
Yeah. So how was last week? Not watching.
it was weird. I was watching actually you guys live at the stadium. I turned on because when you guys came on, it was basically the end of the performance, the AEW, and it was ending.
Yeah, where did you go?
I went to
Tell-
Seattle and I watched the AEW wrestling event. My goal was to see Jericho live, Chris Jericho, who I consider one of the greatest wrestlers from Canada, next to
Sure.
Bret the Hitman Hart. And
He's Canadian?
Jericho?
No, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, from Calgary. Come on, are you being serious?
I 100%. I had no idea it was from.
Oh my God,
Canada.
no! They have a huge family legacy in Calgary.
Oh,
His
something
dad
good
was
in
a
Calgary.
wrestler. It was a dad. They have they call the den. They train all the wrestlers in Calgary at the Hitman house.
I had no idea.
So some of the disciples are Bret, his brother Owen, and Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho is the last of the Hitmans, and then obviously Bret's niece and Natalia, she's in WWE. They're all lineages from the Hart Foundation. So yeah, I got to see him. It was awesome. He literally walked
Cool.
by. He was at least 10 feet away from me. That's it.
What did he smell like?
Oh, like
Sweat and baby oil?
no, it was like a very, very expensive flowers, but with the leather hint because he's all leathered
Ooh.
up. So, but yeah, he was cool. Like he's a performer. He's born to perform. So he was awesome. He made it worth my trip there. It was good. There's some good fun I had. And yeah, so I tuned into you guys. I couldn't hear what you guys were saying, like it was so loud. So I had to go to the quiet areas. And when we were heading to the hotel, I tuned in for a little bit with you guys, but I didn't want to know your scores. I didn't want to know your scores till today, after I give you my score.
Okay.
So I do not know your score from last week's Willow or your Bad Batch.
Okay.
Did you guys watch all 3 episodes of the Bad Batch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was 2 episodes, and then the third
Yeah.
one was today or last night. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
so I've caught up
Yeah.
with you guys. I've watched all the episodes of Bad Batch, and I watched
Mhm.
both Willow episodes, so I'm caught up.
Okay.
Do you
Wait,
wanna know-
first off,
Yeah.
Elvin, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the 7-Eleven's vintage iced tea,
Oh.
raspberry iced tea.
Ooh,
It is
what
made
year?
in 2022, so it's a good year.
Horrible year.
It depends who you ask.
Actually, no, pretty good year.
It was a good year for me. I'm not going to complain, right? So, Cowabunga said it's over.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bad Batch, no, Bad Batch still going on, man. I don't
No, no,
know.
no. Willow.
Who?
I know.
What'd you call me?
we are the Bad Batch right here.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah.
Nathan, what are you drinking?
I made myself. It's Amaro sour or amaretto sour. But
I thought
forgot
you were gonna do the
bitters.
shaker on stream.
Well, yeah, but the problem was like it's so loud, and then I'm shaking it, and then I have the glasses all down here, so you see me pouring it into nothing. It looks like
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
pouring
fair.
it into my lap. It's kind of a weird image, but I thought it doesn't look too bad.
That looks
It's kind
great.
of hard
You
to
got
see,
nice
but the
froth
foam's
on it?
really velvety. Yeah, I just don't have the bitters right now because I forgot.
That's fair.
And yes, I am a bartender. So
A great one that is.
yeah.
We should crash crash one of the nights there and just grab some wings.
I keep saying that.
What days
Wing
do you work?
Wednesdays.
Like, do you? Oh, you're Wednesdays. Okay.
Wing Wednesdays. Oh, I work. I changes every week.
Wing Wednesday changes every week.
Wing-
How,
no,
how's
no,
that possible?
my work schedule
It's
changes.
Wednesday.
It's always on a Wednesday.
I always move around, but today I
Yeah,
was
this-
at the liquor store, so I'm trying to learn more about wines, which is really weird because I'll be honest, if you have a Cabernet Sauvignon, they all the Cabernet Sauvignons to me taste the same,
Yeah.
and all the Shirazes, all the Malbecs, they all taste the same as like
What's the
their
most
category.
expensive wine they have in the store?
The most expensive wine that I can think of that's a regular size, maybe Duckhorn. It's like
Duckhorn?
Duckhorn is
That
from Napa
sounds
Valley.
classy.
It does. I wanted to buy it until I
Sounds
saw the
vintage French.
price. It's from Napa Valley in California. It's like $100 and something bucks.
That's it?
Yeah, it's not too expensive, but considering that you open it and you consume the whole bottle in a night, that's a lot
Yeah.
to spend for like, two people having
dinner.
2 glasses each. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even enough for like
Duckhorn,
5
okay.
people. Duckhorn,
Speaking of wine and corn, the only
We said horn. We didn't say corn. We said horn.
duck corn.
I thought it was duck horn.
Yeah, no, Alvin's right.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
right.
Well, I do
That
have a
would be the
segue
worst
for this.
name.
Okay, all
Duckhorn.
right. Let's hear it. Here is the segue.
I agree. Like, I enjoy wines, but for the most part, it's like, is this a red or white? And that's about as much as I can tell the difference. And like, I have a very trained palate. Like, I don't know, I've done bartending and sommeliering and stuff like that, and like, I know my whiskeys and can pick out, the difference between, the different areas of Scotland or whatever. But when it comes to wine, the only real differences that the only major difference that I've found, there was one wine in the Okanagan that I was on a winery tour, and when they gave me the glass and I was smelling and drinking or whatever, it had a really strong peppercorn aftertaste. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I was like, oh, I want to marinate a steak in this. So I bought 2 bottles and then did that, and it was delicious.
Do you
The
watch
steak or the wine?
Yes.
The steak was both. Everything was just good.
It paired really good with steak because it had, that peppery.
Do you watch Guga Foods on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I love Guga.
Oh man.
I'm aware of them, but
You should, if you want to learn how to marinate, that's the man to
oh,
watch.
wait. I know that guy. Yeah.
He is brilliant. My wife doesn't like the way he sounds.
He's
And
Brazilian.
I'm like,
isn't
what?
He's
He sounds delicious. I'm like, this is a man that sounds delicious. I don't know what you're talking about.
he did that video about dredging a steak in Kraft dinner cheese powder.
Yeah.
And he was like,
I think we should save this for after hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice
Okay,
steak.
let's get into Willow. So you guys did your score for last week's episode.
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't hear it, so I have no idea.
Okay.
Honest to God. I'll give you my score here. I think, as much as I remember it, I'm gonna have to give it a 5.
You're having trouble remembering it. That's how eventful it was.
Good.
I give it a 5. That's my score.
I think that was Justin's score, wasn't it?
So what was
No,
your
I-
guys' score for it?
I think I gave it like a 3.
Oh yeah, you did
A
give it a
3?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Nathan, what was your score?
I can't. I think I give it a 6.5 or a 6, something around
I
there.
think
you were
so,
generous
yeah.
that night. You were
I
generous.
No.
was generous.
You had a lot of good points that I agreed with. And you were like, this was cool. They had this. The main reason why your score was so high was because you were like, they tried a bunch of things and they did a bunch of different things, and a lot of them worked out, and they had cool scenes and cool things in it. And I was like, yeah, that is true. But nothing happened, and the cool things that looked cool just made the story worse. And I honestly barely remember the last. week's
Okay.
episode.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna blow you guys' mind for this week.
Okay.
We'll get into the show itself.
Sure.
This is the finale. right?
Yeah.
Just the
The
last
big
episode.
build up.
Thank
The
goodness.
big cacophonous end.
Not a thank goodness.
Dare I
just-
say I was in dire strait.
Sure. How many
I don't-
episodes did you watch today? 2?
No, I watched both of them back to back. So
Ooh, it's painful.
yeah. And I
What did
watched.
you think when fucking Eric just showed up and he was like, "Oh, I have a darker leather jacket on and my hair got cut"? Were you like,
So
"Oh
now
no"?
I
Or were you
really
like,
liked,
"Who's that?"
out of all the characters in the show, I liked Eric the most. Just
Sure.
because
Because he's a fuck boy.
yeah, he's just a I don't care. I'm a rich prince. I'm gonna have a good time, have some drinks. I
Yeah.
don't take life seriously, and I'm like, you know what? You're
Like as
cool.
a character, he's
Yeah, you're
like
cool.
he's very
You're
straightforward.
You're a chilled guy. Okay, I like this guy, right? And then he comes out all like, Christian Slater's, love child or something. And I was like, what the hell happened to this guy? Like, why is he dressed like this? Like, are they trying to depict that he's evil? You don't need
Yes,
to have
that
a
was the
black
point.
leather jacket to depict he's evil, right? Like,
Again, like they had such cool designs for the bad guys, for the creme or creme brulee
The
or whatever the
crone.
fuck.
crumble.
Sure.
Gales and
The-
Crone and
The crones.
Yeah.
So the fucking IBS monsters, whatever you want to call them. And they could have like done some cool prosthetics on Eric, but they didn't. They just cut his hair. He honestly just looked like, oh hey, I was 17, now I'm 25.
But okay,
He's
what
like,
is with
I
the
got a
cutting of the
haircut.
hair?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
did at
He's
the
just
end
like,
too.
I got a haircut and now I have a leather jacket. And it's like, okay. And then it ended and I was like, is he evil now? Did he just get a slight wardrobe change? And then they're like, you get it? He's a bad guy now. And it's like, no, I don't get it. He just shows up now.
Borman,
Yep.
Foreman, yeah.
downhill for me. The last 2 episodes, complete useless of a character now.
So okay, so
they basically took his nuts and cut it off.
Yeah, he was the best part,
and they made it the worst.
Lines.
They did everything that he had worked his way to make us at least laugh a little bit.
Yeah,
just was thrown out the window. Like,
yeah, he was like the kind of funny guy. He was the rogue guy.
That part when they'd fall into the land and he's with the other 2 misfits. Because the world's ending. Do you guys want to make out? Either one of you?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh. That's not funny, bro. That's not funny.
Yeah.
It just sounds stupid.
Honestly,
I feel like I need to call someone about this.
Yeah, like you have issues that you want to make out with kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You got issues, bro. That was borderline pedo for me.
Yeah, I mean, R. Kelly already put out his album, dog. Like, it's not trending in a good way. But like that part where it was just the 3 of them, I was like, oh, good. The annoying people are gone. Now some good shit will happen. And then he was just like creeping on children. And I was like, all right, never mind.
As soon as I heard that, I'm like, did I just hear this right? I actually went and reversed 10 seconds back to hear it again. I'm like, did he just say he wants to make out with both of them?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care which one. I just like, why would he even say that to these kids? You're like 10 years older than them, and they're like 16, 17 in the show, and you're like 27. Like, come on, dude. Like, it was just weird and cringy, and just like it just really, I lost all credibility of that character. I'm not saying about the actor, I'm just talking about the character.
Yeah.
I just lost all credibility of that. I'm like, I used to like this guy, and I don't like this guy anymore because of those lines.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell if he was talking about all 3 of them or just the 2 younger kids and he was watching.
No,
either way, it's not good.
Either way,
it's bad.
It was just weird. Like, I get it, it's a joke, but it's a really badly timed joke, and you need to look at who you're joking with in the scene, right? If there are 2 people that are his age, that's a different ballgame altogether, right? It just really felt weird for me.
Well, even before that, he was like, when he was joking with Willow, and he was like, okay, well, also, so that part too, when it was just like the 2 Grayson,
if I go off camera just because I'm eating food, I apologize.
Okay, Grayson and Jade, they jump off, and then Willow and Borman are left there, and they're like, oh, okay, let's go back. And then Willow's like, yep, we're done here. My job was just to guide them, and okay. And then Borman was like, all right, well, fuck it. Let's go find a good brothel and let's go fucking drink some mead and party. And then he's like, oh, or maybe we are supposed to go help them. Maybe we have to protect them or something. And then they jump off, and it's like, okay. So, also,
Yeah, that was
Nathan,
weird.
you 100% called
Yeah.
like 4 things that happened in this episode. You were last week. You
Like
were
what? Like what?
he was like, if Borman gives the Cuirass the armor to Kit, and then she uses that to protect it, I'm gonna kill myself.
Dude, that was such a piss off.
Yeah.
That was such a piss off. Honest to
He
God.
spent his
and-
whole life looking for
Yeah,
this thing.
I'm like, this
and then
is
it's just
fucking
like,
ridiculous.
let's give
Oh,
it
by the way,
character that most people hate.
this thing that I almost, killed my life looking for, you can have it. I don't need it anymore.
Also, a thing that they barely like when he handed it to her, I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing, because it's just been a slight thing like that they've mentioned occasionally. It's not like he goes in and he goes, oh, okay, I found this thing, and you're like, what is that? And then they move on to something else. Like the storytelling and world building is so atrociously fucking bad that even when he takes his armor off and goes, here, you'll need this, I wasn't like, oh, it's the thing. I was like, what is she not wearing? What's wrong with her armor? And then it took like until they fucking shoved the goo into her, and I was just like, oh, it's the thing that they've occasionally mentioned every 4 episodes or every 3 episodes or whatever in passing. And then
How did he not wear that armor during the time he goes into another world?
It
He
didn't
Like you went to
did-
another world, a
no,
dimension.
it was exactly what we called last week. He did wear it and he tried to use it, and so did Christian Slater, but they're not worthy, and they need to
It's
find
so
somebody worthy.
stupid.
Like a fucking 14-year-old piece of shit brat who's an asshole to everyone. She's totally worthy. And then for some reason, so then they get there, they get to the sand thing, and then what's his name fucking comes out and he's like, oh, she's not that bad. And it's just like trope after trope after trope. And then they're like, no, she's evil. And he's like, she just wants to bring peace and order to the galaxy or whatever the fuck. And then they exchange a couple like jokes that don't make sense. The super bad. Also, everyone who died in the last episode on the bad guy team of they're all back.
Oh god, hated
So
that.
like the fight that they fucking had, and everyone like, oh, we now can beat the old fucking witch lady because we defeated the crones. No, it's fine. They're all back and alive for no reason. And it's like, okay, so you didn't do anything and you didn't grow or strengthen yourself or learn anything because all the people that you killed, and that's now your rite of passage, they're all back and they're fine. Then they go into the fucking spunk land, walk through the goo, and then they're like, oh, there's just a bunch of like horribly written jokes of just like, oh, that's not good for, oh, did you drink that shit?
What's up, Darth?
Also, every time they swear in the show, it just feels so weird. Like when
Yeah.
It feels
Kit-
out of place.
when Kit says to Eric, like, oh, you know that shit's bad for you. It's just like, this doesn't feel like a fantasy show.
Because
This
they don't
doesn't
say
feel-
shit in the medieval times.
This
not
feels like D&D.
It feels like D&D, but it's just bad.
A bad
And
campaign.
then- yeah. So then they
Damn it, almost spit my drink out.
then the fucking the witch lady is like, oh, I'll kill you. Then they have a fucking Dragon Ball Z fight.
Okay, so speaking of fights, every time there's a good fight, the camera seems to lose its place. They have the camera people have no idea how to angle fights.
yeah, it's because
it's
the ones
horrible.
who worked on the first 2 episodes were like, fuck this show, and went on to like do a daytime TV show for like Hallmark because they're like, fuck it. At least this pays the same and I don't hate myself.
And then Boromir, he closes the doors, so you expect a massive fight with these people.
Yeah, how did that happen? There's a whole army, an undead army outside, and later on we don't really see the fight later. We just see him show up like nothing happened and no other bad guys are there. It's like, did he kill the whole army?
Yeah, he goes, oh, okay, I'll see you on the other side. Then he comes back covered in goo and then
Yeah.
goes, I want my mom. And then we're like, is that funny? Like, I want to see him.
Yeah.
All of his fights are cool. His choreography and how he fights with that giant fucking sword was cool. Like,
But they don't show it. They don't show enough of it.
Whenever they did, it was like, oh, that's cool. Cause like it's not just a regular sword, like it's big dude with a big fucking sword that's unrealistic, but all of the choreography that he
like
had
Berserk
and
from
how he
anime,
handled-
where he's got 10-foot long
exactly. But how he handled the sword was entertaining and interesting to watch because it made sense. And like the actor and the stunt coordinator did a really good job of making that giant fucking sword practical. And then they were like, oh, he's gonna go fight an army. It's like, show me that. And they're like, nah, he's gonna come out with a sassy quip.
Yeah, why show
after
cool
about-
things? We're not
Yeah,
all
exactly.
about that. We want to show 5 minutes of what's her face, your best friends.
Who cares?
They
Kids.
looking at each other's eyes and going, you're special. No, you're chosen. You're amazing. I can't wait for you to put on this armor. You were
Is
meant to
everyone's
do this.
special
It
except
just went
for you,
on and on and on. I'm like, oh my god, shut
And
up.
also Willow like being
Oh,
like, oh
big boy Willow all of a sudden shows up and says, I'm here, bitches.
yeah,
like-
he shows up for some reason. And
Well, he
then-
didn't want to go jump down the well, whatever the hell this thing
He
we
did.
call it. No, he's like, I gotta go save my daughter. Remember, he turned around and was
Yeah.
walking, and then
yeah,
he just,
and then
just
Borman
shows
was
up.
like,
I
let's
was
go
just
to a
like,
brothel. Let's go fuck some bitches.
like the world's gonna end, and you're worried about your daughter. Your daughter's gonna die if you don't go deal with this.
Well, no, because he was being like, oh, I've served my purpose. And then he was like, wait, what if my purpose is to protect her? Because
Which
even
was what
he
it was
doesn't
all
even know
along.
what the fuck's happening in the show. Because he's just like, am I done? I don't know. Should I just go and make dinner for my family?
Honestly,
Fuck
it would
I'll
have been a
go-
more interesting episode if they just let Borman and Willow go to a brothel. I think it
Totally.
would've been more exciting
That'd
to
be
see what
dope.
happened.
like just Borman getting fucking white girl wasted and like just
Just doing some dances, shaking the head,
I would pay money for
like
that.
Carrie Crews type of dance, like with the whistle and shit.
Mhm.
You
Spin
know,
that
like
big-ass
all I
sword
was
around.
waiting was for what's his name, Willow, to show up and just go, "You shall not pass" with the staff.
He did do that.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
He actually did. He shows up and then fucking Gandalf's this bitch down, and then she breaks. Okay,
Mini
and then
Gandalf.
the whole show. They're like, don't break the wand. The wand is important. The wand is important. Then the wand breaks, and she's like, oh, by the way, I can just fucking shit magic out of my hands.
My hands are the
Unlimited
wands now.
power.
Yeah.
Abracadabra.
She just Palpatines this motherfucker down, and then it doesn't even work. Then fucking Grayson is just like, oh, again, I've never been doing magic, and you've been talked about this whole show that you're the chosen one, but also I can just motherfucking abracadabra this bitch and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
And then the Gale or
Wait.
whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Nathan,
So
you're
there's
saying?
two big issues with the scene and the one right before. Still on the scene. Why the hell does he have to pick up her wand? He's got a magic flute that works. What's important about her? He's like, I gotta screw it. I'm gonna forget that I've got my own thing and use her wand
Her
rather than
wand's
toss the
got a-
wand back to her.
Her wand's got a +5 to initiative.
But so that's the first issue with the scene, and then earlier on, or I guess the scene before, when that make believe land, and Eric, they're about to get married. Eric and
By the way, what
and
the hell
Alora-
was that? Like, how would anybody believe that's real?
Also, all of the
don't know.
guards, I'm pretty sure that were out of focus in the background. Their armor looked really cool, and I'm pretty sure they were just spray painted Mandalorian helmets.
that would be nice.
But I mean, who in their right mind is going to believe that enchanted bullshit is real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even the way the mom talked, I was like, "Yo, she's creepy. She don't talk like
she's
that."
obviously fake.
Yeah,
But also,
Yeah.
like she is fake as hell.
She's a
Alora
mimic.
telling Eric, like, I'm not really into you anymore. It's like, okay, clearly he's possessed by something. You've gone all this way, and you're just suddenly like, oh, I'm not really in love with you anymore.
The
You're
whole
being
point
possessed,
of the show,
obviously.
is to save Eric. And when they get there,
They
they're
just
like,
shit on the guy
fuck
after.
this guy. Yeah.
And, like, if there's like some sort of falling out of love at some point, because she's more interested in
Yeah,
And,
which
great-
we
like,
got
that's
hints
fine.
of that they were developing that relationship, right?
But she
And then
just
they just
dropped
didn't.
him so quickly, though. They
Yeah.
first, like
You cut
she
your
dropped
hair. I don't
Eric.
like that.
He's like, oh yeah, just gone. Screw it. I no longer still have feelings for you, but they're kind of fading. No, gone.
Yeah, just
I hate it when
Just
stories
like my
do that.
camera, I'm gone.
do you guys think you could edit a good 90-minute movie out of the show? No.
You
There's
need a
nothing
decent
good in that
plot
show.
for that.
You would need another 90 minutes of stuff just showing Eric and character development for Eric for us to give a shit about Eric. Because we don't. And the show kept forgetting about him, never showed us him, and he's the driving force of this entire show. And then we need another 90 minutes of fucking Kit not being a self-righteous little shit. And then you have character development. So then miraculously in this episode, when she gets her shit together and starts being like, oh, I'm going to be the hero that we need. When she does things, you're just like, I don't like you. This show has spent 9 or whatever the fuck episodes telling me how much of an asshole this person is. And now they're like, I'm good. You're still an asshole.
Yeah.
Like nobody likes you. Like, and this isn't a personal vendetta. This is not me or Nathan or Elvin saying like, I don't like this character or whatever. The show, the writers, the director have been cramming down our throats that this person is a fucking dick. And then the last 2 episodes, she has a turnaround and goes, I like you, lady that I've been bitching at for 6 episodes. I'm going to save the world. And it's just like, cool. The asshole saves the world.
You
So
can't
there's
have just such immediate character development that's just sudden. All of a sudden, boom, she got this big epiphany. It's not believable, and it just ruins the story.
Like, it's so
But
it's such a slap in the face to us viewers that these people that wrote this think that we're gonna like that.
Yeah.
What they wrote, they thought was likable. That's such a like. I mean, how can you sit there with the final edit and go, people are gonna love this show. We have all the makings of a great show here. This is gonna be great, building from the legacy of Willow. That even though it's small and had its small little followings, we think this show is gonna do right by expanding this world.
So I thought of something today. So originally, when we were asking who the fuck is this show for, and why did this show happen, we speculated that Disney was like, well, Game of Thrones is popular and on TV right now, and Lord of the Rings also has a TV show. We need a fantasy show. I forgot that when they bought Star Wars from George Lucas, they also bought all of his IP. They bought
Lucas Entertainment,
yeah,
which means they got Indiana Jones, which they're making a new movie of. They got Star Wars, and then this was just a side piece that they were like, oh yeah, we also got Willow. So they were just throw
in, yeah.
And it wasn't we have this. It was just like this is here. Okay, that's a fantasy thing. That's kind of Lord of the Ringsy. Fuck it, sure. And this whole show is just fuck it.
It's a throw-in. It's a
throwaway, like whatever.
It's Disney saying,
yeah, sure, you do it.
It's Disney saying that we have content. Sure. That's all it is. It's Disney saying that we made some content for you.
It's just Disney going, yeah, okay. We don't have to spend extra money on buying a new IP. We already have this one. Nobody gives a shit about it.
The level this show is at is, how you in grade 11 get a project to do in school where you and a bunch of friends get together in drama class and you give them some money and a camera and you're supposed to make a short film. That's this level. That's the level this show is at.
I made better shit in high school with a fucking DV camera. I made a horror movie that I didn't finish, and it is more palatable than this shit. I had dolly zooms. I had suspense. I had fucking accent.
Your sci-fi, sci-fi magic was better.
No, there was no special effects. Actually, I had a blood cannon that I built, and I had to like superimpose a gunshot and a blood splatter, and I built squibs out of a pop bottle and a bunch of shit that I got from Home Hardware. And that is more suspenseful than all of the fights, except for maybe the first 2 episodes. Again,
The prosthetics were better.
no, the makeup and costuming and special effects in this show are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the what the fuck's her name? The villain of this whole show.
The crone or the
Crone.
worm. The worm.
Why the
behind her.
fuck was she all CG? That was annoying to me.
You
All
do
of the
notice
character
it.
design and all the prosthetics and all of the makeup and whatever of the
Because I think it was
her
easier to
goons.
I think it was easier to levitate her. That's why they didn't want to
It's the
spend the
same-
money. They didn't want to
She-
spend the money levitating a human being.
Yeah, but she did stand out so much compared to everyone else because everyone else at least has that more realistic look. She looks
yeah.
like
It's
The-
crap.
I mean,
It looks
like,
crap.
her,
like the Hobbit
but her-
orcs were so bad.
her prosthetic or her CG
She looked like a 1990 CGI.
wasn't any better. Like it wasn't complicated. She was just like a half dead, zombified, whatever. They already did that in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Like all they did was make her a little shinier and gooier. It's like we'll just fucking spray her down with some glycerin. Like fuck.
I do want to talk about my favorite part of the show.
When it ended.
Okay, my second favorite part of the
Okay.
show.
No, the ending wasn't even good because
Yeah,
they're
that's
like,
true.
we're
It
gonna
was
make a
bad.
season 2, and you're like,
No,
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 you're
no, no,
fucking
no.
not.
My favorite part was when they're in the water with that little fish thing, whatever, and they're traveling. I did like it. I thought it was cool that they're traveling through this diverse
Last
ocean. Yeah, last episode. I
Oh,
liked
okay.
it.
Yeah.
I liked it, and
couldn't
I
remember.
also liked the big like the stars and everything showing up on the screen,
Sure.
and they're hanging out these little islands. I thought that was a journey that they should have explored more into.
Yeah,
right?
it was the first time
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it looked like they were on a journey and
Yeah,
fucking
and it
achieving
looks
things.
so cool and like it's so mystical and it's amazing. And I'm just like,
Yep.
we only got it for one half of a show.
Not even. It was a fucking montage.
I was like, oh my god, like this is what I want.
The-
Them
yeah,
going
if-
from places to places,
and
camping
training
out under
and
the
fighting,
stars, right?
like going on an adventure as opposed to just
Yeah.
like we walk for 5 minutes. Now we're here. Now we're gonna bicker and fight together, and then a bad guy's gonna show up. We're gonna like finesse our way through, just like fucking stumble through, and then they die. Oh, but then 4 episodes
was
later
the
they show up
best
again.
part of the entire show, right?
If
there.
the entire show was like the montage, but for 6 episodes, that'd have been fine.
yeah,
There would have
get the-
been development.
it would have been so cool how they, as they're journeying, they meet all these people like Borman. They meet all these places, people from these locales, and form a team at the
Yeah.
end,
If
Yeah.
right?
if they had have like discovered Borman at the brothel and he
in the
was
middle of an
looking
island,
for
like
that,
that tiki hut island, whatever.
or
yeah.
that bar that had burned down, that inn
Yeah,
or
yeah.
brothel or whatever. If they had like gone there and Willow was like, oh, there's some armor that your dad was looking for, and like if you're gonna do the RPG D&D thing, fucking lean into it and be like,
Yeah.
oh, to defeat the crone, we need this armor that's magical, and we need to do a quest, and you need to level up your gear, and then it'd have been like, okay, and then they meet this rogue guy who's like, I'm looking for this armor, and they're like, well, we're looking for it, and he's like, all right, fuck you, I'll help.
On the
That would've
topic
been
of the
cool.
armor, so they don't talk about the armor very much, but when they did in the past, they built it up like it's a super powerful piece of like magical equipment.
Iron Man.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
all it turned out to be was like, sure, it looked cool, but it was like an Iron Man, medieval Iron Man suit. And then even
They did
then,
the Sailor Moon Iron Man suit up thing.
She twirled around.
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
what happened? All that happened was she
Nothing.
put it on, and when she fought with it, there's like a weird effect in the background, but that was it. Because
That
she
was
still
it.
fought the
She didn't
same.
get hit. She didn't move faster. At
She
first, I was
can't.
like,
She's
oh,
perfect. Remember?
maybe because at first like there's that kind of like whooshy dream kind of
Yeah.
effect where like there was more motion blur and there's coloration or whatever, and I was like, oh, maybe this is giving her super speed, and because Eric is now evil and he's part of the crone or whatever the fuck, because she made out with him and sucked his soul or some shit, something
Yeah.
that they did not fucking explain. He just became bad.
Well, he
And
drank.
then-
He drank the Kool-Aid from the.
It wasn't Kool-Aid, it was
But then he
spunk.
kissed her.
And then she made out with him, and then he's now
Orange
bad.
Crush.
Sure, mixed with fucking
Vanilla
human
Coke.
fluids. It was a lot more viscous than fucking vanilla
Wow.
Coke. There was vanilla in there, but
I'm gonna
anyway.
eat my food here while I turn off the camera.
Yeah, so anyway, the evil baby juice, they fucking downed that shit. And then and then they were fighting and there was like a dreamscape kind of, and I was like, oh cool, they're like moving at superhuman speeds. And I thought it was gonna cut to everyone else watching the fight and they're just gonna be like and just be a blur because they're moving super fast. And she needed that armor to be able to move super fast. And they were gonna try and like fight Eric, and they're like, oh, he's too fast, we can't. But they didn't. They just fought like they normally would have fucking fought, and nothing was different. She never got hit, she never got stabbed, the armor didn't do fuck all. She just looked different.
Yeah,
And that was it.
It was disappointing.
It didn't save anyone's life. If she didn't have the armor, same fucking thing would have happened. So
See?
they beat her with the power of friendship and love, which I am not exaggerating, was a fucking line.
That was. I was like, this is. Oh, God, just claw my ears out and eyes out.
And then also Willow was like, oh, you need to protect her because you love her. And she's like, yeah. Like she's hiding it. And it's like, we know this. This is not. Okay, that's another thing. If in the first couple episodes, they were like, oh, people from Tamriel or whatever the fuck, they're super homophobic and they don't like the gays. Then
Tamriel?
they're Tamriel, wherever the fuck they're from. I don't care. Nobody cares. If they were like, oh, they're super bigoted and our love is forbidden, but they didn't. They just showed, hey, these people are in love, and you're like, okay. And then they hinted at it for the next 6 episodes, and you're like, yeah, I already know they're fucking. Like, it's fine. And then they're like, oh, are they banging? And you're like, yeah, they are. And then in the last episode, Willow's like, you love her, don't you? You have to protect her. And she's like, I do love her. And it's just like, she's saying it like it's this huge coming out thing. And it's like, everyone already knows you're banging. Like, nobody gives a shit.
We're on a
And
tiny
then-
island and you two walk together alone. We know what's
Yeah,
going on.
and then made out like under the stars when the moon is a fucking spotlight on everyone and there's no cover. Like, everyone fucking knows. And
Nor do they
It's not-
care.
nor do they care. Like, nobody gives a shit. And again, if in the first couple episodes they were like, oh, this is forbidden, you can't do gay shit here, then they've been like, oh, okay, they have to hide it. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. They're accepting, their friends are accepting or whatever. They didn't do any of that. It's just like, yeah, they love each other. And you're like, okay. And then in the
If
last
the,
episode,
if the goal was to highlight the community, there was no reason. There was no highlight.
no, there was no, there was
nobody
no-
cared.
well, it was just like, hey, they're doing this. And you're like, okay. And then there was no objection or no nothing. So it was just, this is character development. This is just building this character. And you're like, got it. They fuck. Cool.
Move on. That's it.
And then in the last episode, they were like, you guys bang, don't you? And she's like, he's like, we knew this.
She's like, like that.
no. He's like, yes, you told us this fucking
Yeah.
8 episodes ago.
And Borman's a pedo.
And
Borman watched.
Yeah.
You know?
Borman, yeah, he's like, oh, sick.
Corn.
Yeah, and then they win by the power of friendship because love is the
They
most powerful
massacred, they
thing in the
massacred our
universe.
boy. They massacred our boy. The
No, they
flute-
didn't. He's
no,
the
no,
sequel.
I know. I'm not saying they massacred our boy, and then at the end, he just shows up.
Yeah, and he's got
There's a whole pile of dead bodies, but miraculously, he's fine.
No,
I hope
they're not
he
dead
killed them all.
bodies. It's the legions of hell. And he, in season 2, which we're never going to fucking watch, he's
See,
now going
that's
to
where
be...
I think we might do.
Nope. No, Elvin.
I was contemplating of what we said earlier, like we were never gonna do it, but
There is not enough alcohol in the world to make me fucking watch. Unless there is nothing else on TV.
no, I
Like-
think we should
will
watch
be.
it and just make fun of it.
Hallmark movies are made nearly year round. We can watch those. It's okay.
I would love to. That has some good writing behind it. That has a formula and character development. I will cry at a Hallmark movie before I watch the second fucking season of this show.
Okay, so I guess I'm doing it alone.
Elvin, let's be honest. You're not gonna finish the first. You're gonna fall asleep.
Look, when I saw
Nobody's going to give
it's
money to this. There's going to be no advertising. It's going to happen, and then 2 years from now, we're going to be like, wait, the second season came out? There was no advertising behind it because Disney's not going to put any money behind this shit.
I will secretly watch it. How about that?
Wait, did
If
Disney put
you-
much in advertising for this one? I didn't see.
There
much.
was
Did you?
some ads. I knew it was coming out.
When
I saw
YouTubers are
YouTube
running
ads.
away and not even talking about it, there's no ads.
No, but I saw ads like going, "Hey, this is a show that's going to happen," and I was like, "Oh, cool, okay, whatever." They're not going to do that for this.
I think we were the only ones on internet that actually watched the whole thing and talked about it.
We are.
So we should
And
pat
we
ourselves on
regret
the
it.
back for being so brave
Yes,
and amazing
we're
and awesome
brave.
and super.
Yes.
So
Now,
brave, just like Kit. So brave.
just like Kit,
Oh, man.
to show her face in public after being in this fucking show.
Oh, what a
brave.
disaster! What a dumpster fire of a show.
All right, Elvin, what do you give this episode?
I'm gonna have to give it a 5 again. No. I'm gonna give it a 6 only because the end song is one of my favorite songs.
Was it a cover this time? I
No,
shut
it was
it off.
it was real.
Oh, it was the original.
Dire
I heard
Straits,
the
yeah, Dire
first
Straits.
like guitar riff, and then I just turned my.
When I heard that,
TV
I'm
off.
like, oh
Or
my
no,
god!
I immediately was just like, okay, this shit's done. I'm gonna watch Bad Batch now.
I went to see if there's
Okay,
anything after the
Okay,
credits.
So,
Oh, was
when
there?
I
Was
don't
there
remember.
After
No.
credits scene? I don't
No.
remember. There might have been. Who knows?
Like I thought,
You're
because
the
it was
only
the season
person who-
finale, they might have something.
Well, they
Thank
did
you.
with a lot of
Thank you
Star
very
Wars
much.
things. So yeah, Disney. That's a yes. Thank you, Cowabunga dude.
why are we thanking this guy? He's the one that made us watch it.
Yes, I know, but we
Well,
still
he's
deserve all the
congratulated.
accommodations that we can get, even though it's this motherfucker's fault.
I want to throw a digital tomato at him, but he'll probably duck
You know what's
out of the way.
A real shame too is that Disney had the chance to start nearly fresh. They had like a little bit of lore to start you off, so that you're not starting from absolute scratch. The actors were all around that you wanted to use, and you had
They're all
some
good
actors.
actors too.
Yeah,
But what
They had a
if they
chance
put
to do
more money
something
into
good.
it next season and really make it take off?
I don't think you can just put money into it. You need to get new writers. You
yeah,
need to like change
Yeah, that's
the
what money
way
putting
the
money into it
vision-
means.
Yeah, but I'm sure
If-
Disney
if-
pays
okay.
these writers a fair amount. It's just shitty.
But we're not
writers
gonna
they
know because we're not gonna watch it. You're saying so. I think we
Yeah.
should, or I should watch it, and then let you
If-
guys know.
pay. I'm
If-
okay with that.
No, I'll no, I don't trust your fucking judgment.
I appreciate it.
I will.
Why would you
watch-
say that? Oh my god! Don't say that.
You and I fight almost exclusively on TV shows.
We do
Okay.
not. We only fought on
Andor.
Andor. We agree on
And-
95% of everything we watch.
Oh,
We even
that's-
gave Boba Fett the same score.
That's
Yes,
true.
That's true. That's true. You guys do the
Because
same
of
thing for
Andor?
Kenobi, right? Similar?
Oh yeah, we both
Cowabunga
fucking
just
hated it.
says, "Hey, I stuck it with it for you guys too." We were all in jokes. so
That
we're-
makes this.
You had an obligation if you recommend it. You have to
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
it.
You also stuck to your guns, and I
But
respect you
listen,
for that,
listen.
Cowabunga dude.
It was fun though to do the show because we got to laugh at how pathetic the show was.
Oh, absolutely.
So we did have fun
Yeah.
in that aspect. So it wasn't all doom and gloom.
No,
I
no.
chuckled so many times I wouldn't believe. And my wife's like, "Are you watching comedy?" I'm like, "No, this is a fantasy show."
Okay, speaking of comedy and stuff that you're not supposed to laugh at, we should talk about Avatar before we talk about the Bad Batch.
Oh, you guys
Avatar
watched it
2, or are
finally?
you talking about the last two?
The
Yeah.
No,
the
James
second-
Cameron Avatar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it like 2 weeks ago. You guys watched it?
Yeah, I watched
Yeah, I
it.
watched
In 3D in VIP. So like
Same.
I went full
Oh,
balls
you
out.
went the full experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The James
Same.
Cameron experience.
IMAX 3D.
But I'm gonna
Did we
give this
talk about that last
episode.
week?
We didn't.
Hey, yeah, give your
Oh.
scores. I'll give it a 6.
I'm gonna give it a 3. It's garbage.
So sorry, are we doing the scores just for the episode, right? For this
Episode,
one?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
we'll do the-
afterwards, we're gonna do
Yeah.
one for the whole season.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I didn't think about it too much because I wanted it to kind of just be spontaneous. My mind's focusing around 6, not 6.5, just 6.
Okay.
Like the fights weren't actually no.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
you
do
scaled it
5.
back 0.5.
I'm bringing it back further. I'm bringing it back 5 now because I was gonna say the fights were cool, but then I realized no, the fights weren't good. I remember watching them and thinking I did not enjoy watching these fights. They were not
Yeah.
very good in my opinion.
Okay, there were a couple redeeming when Kit and her brother were fighting. I made a mental note. The choreography was good.
That was good. Yes, that's true.
But the choreography was good. But you said it earlier. Like, what the hell was the armor for then?
No, absolutely. No. I'm just giving credit to the choreographer.
Yeah, no. I understand, but I'm
and also the actors for like when the camera allowed it, and when the stunt coordinator was doing a good job, or they had a good stunt coordinator on set, the actors there when they had good fights, they were great throughout the show.
Yeah.
70% of the fights were ass, and that's camera work. They didn't have the right stunt coordinator, or they were just hung over that day.
You could cover a lot of terrible choreography with good camera
Good camera work. Absolutely.
You can 100% do that. And
or you can ruin good choreography with shitty camera work.
And they did both.
Yeah, they flip-flopped a lot.
They kept going back and forth, right? They did both. They're like, hey, good fighting? Nah, we're just going to do it in a shitty angle. Yeah. Oh, shitty fighting? We got the best angle for that one, baby.
Yeah.
Right? It was just, and then, like saying with this armor again, I was so perplexed as to what the hell did she don it on for. They made this whole thing about, and then she's like, mighty morphin time, and she spins around and she's got all this, Tony Stark thing, everything, and I thought jetpacks are gonna come out of her legs and shit.
Activate!
And not a single thing was used from that armor. Nothing. Yeah. We don't even know what it does. Nothing.
No, I don't know if you.
They even had. Remember, they had the little beginning. You missed it. You said you didn't even see it. Remember, they showed the origin of the armor. What was it for?
Yeah.
They made a big deal about this armor, and it only got like 1 minute of play. And we didn't even that 1 minute of play. We still didn't know what the hell it did. Like, it was just so pathetic. Like, are we gonna find out in season 2 now what the armor does? Like,
well,
I don't care now.
Again, with all the effects that they had over them with their motion, I thought it was going to be like, oh, they're super fast. And then the other people are going to try, like Willow's going to try and help, but he can't because they're too fast. And she can only fight him because she has the armor. But they're just like, no, they're just going to fight like brother and sister and fuck whatever.
Like, all they wanted to do was make the brother, belittle the brother and make her be above him. That's all they wanted to do at the end there. Yeah. That's all it was. And then at the end, the brother just comes along with them for the next leg of the journey.
So also too, like, this show ends, and like apart from Grayson potentially becoming Satan or something and being the new Lord of the Underworld, which, like, cool. I like that actor, and I think across the board we like him as a character, even though they butchered his backstory and didn't give him nearly enough stuff.
Here's what's gonna happen. He's on the bad guy's side, she's on the good guy's side. They're gonna come together and fall in love. The end.
Totally.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
Elvin's 100% right. Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. Like, it's so awesome.
He's also magical. Yeah.
For no
possessed
reason.
by like that whole possession thing that they hinted at as well. Like, oh, as a young kid, he like kills his brother, but he's like evil possessed sort of thing.
Yeah, at the end, she's gonna grab his flute and he's gonna be happy.
No. Like, they start so many cool things that could have been good, and then they were just like, "Oh, were you making a flute penis joke?"
Yeah, you finally got it, huh? Good for you, then, chap. Let us stay on the ball.
No, she wants to stay on his balls. So I'll get it, but I'm Tish on my soundboard here. But there were so many cool things that were started, like him having this dark past, and then him knowing magic because he's a nerd, but also was possessed by demons or something before. They like hinted at that and they didn't touch it. Borman's backstory, he was a mystery the entire time.
Then well, Christian Slater, they did expand on his backstory when they got captured.
Not really.
Well,
like they,
no, I'm
he
not,
had
I know what you mean. Like, not really, but in terms of the grand scheme of things, or what we
sure
got,
compared to
he was
everything
the
else.
most backstoried, and he was the
Yeah.
least of the people that should have got the backstory.
Yeah,
Right?
because Christian Slater shows up and then goes, "Yeah, we used to party with your dad," and then they go, "Oh, what? It's nothing. It's fine." And then Christian Slater's like, "Peace. I'm out. I'm gonna die." And then you're
Speaking
like,
of partying with the
"Okay."
dad, what is this telepathic communication she has with her dad at the end there? Remember? It's so weird.
Use the Force,
like,
Luke.
Yeah, it's like
Oh yeah.
that's what-
Also, the fucking the queen goes like, "Oh, I'm eternal, bitch," and it's like that doesn't
that didn't age well at all.
no. And also, like, you just put that in so that kids would think that was funny because she said bitch.
Yeah, you're gonna be
And
cool.
it's like,
Yeah.
X-Men did this 10 years ago, motherfucker. Like, this is not funny or relevant. And,
and
and
speaking of
then-
haircuts, we get the opposite version of the whatever her name is, and she has short hair at
who?
the end.
Opposite version? Who? Sorry.
You know, the
Oh,
girl
Laura, but now with the short hair.
with shorter hair.
instead.
Everyone gets haircuts
Oh,
when they're
yeah.
evil.
Is it the future or like is that a fake version of her?
I have
That's
no
the-
idea, man.
That,
Again,
that's the
we don't
upside down version of her.
Yeah. They threw in a little Stranger World thing here to
Yeah.
pull in the Netflix crowd. In.
Yeah, it's not Stranger Things. They couldn't afford the name, so they called it Stranger Places.
Stranger Worlds.
Stranger
Odd
Worlds. That's
Bits.
the Disney
Yeah.
version.
Oh man, the only thing that put a smile on my face, like I said, was the song at the end. I'm like, that's my song right there, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't stick around.
Yeah,
as
Nathan,
soon as it was
you
done-
give us a 5?
I'm looking forward to
I'm giving it a
volume
5
2.
for
I
the
might stick
episode.
around. I might watch it.
Okay, Alvin,
Justin,
what do
did
you give
your
this
score?
season? I gave it a 3 this episode.
Oh yeah.
Alvin, what do you
5,
give this
5,
season?
5. It
Nathan?
had its moments,
Okay.
and then it had its moments, if you know what I mean. So it's 5, and 5 is being, I think, generous too. I think I want to be 2023. I'm a very positive person because I got lambasted last year for being a negative person. So I'm trying to be positive here. A 5, and it's not a good 5. It's one of those 5s. It's like a small.
It's a pity 5.
Yeah, it's a small 5. Yeah.
It's a pity. Like 5, I could understand. Like, again, if you
That's
watch
bad.
this,
If a Disney Plus show is a 5, that's bad.
no, but if you watch this show on mute,
It's good.
it's
times.
a good show.
It's good times.
If you just like get high as fuck and put it on mute and put on like some like
We do not condone anyone doing drugs, but we're just saying it could be very entertaining.
do.
As an adult, it could be very entertaining for you if you know
if you
the right
okay,
concoctions to put into your body.
anything that you put into your body to get inebriated and watch this show will make it better. Scouts
7-Eleven raspberry iced tea will not do that. Just saying.
If you drink enough of it
Maybe
and you
yes.
let it expire on your
You let it
desk
ferment,
for a
you
few
ferment
months,
it for
yeah.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Cowabunga dude says 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Nathan, what do you give this series, this season, this show?
Do you know what? The only reason why I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 is because I know for a lot of episodes I did give it like just over 5. Like
Yeah,
around
I had to
6-ish.
because I had to look at that. What's my average, right? My
No,
average
no,
was
Yeah.
I don't think
Like
this
I
is
know
an
I know the
average.
average for the episodes is different, but I think
no.
there
I'm
were
saying
enough
what I'm
moments-
saying for myself. What all my scores were very close to that 5 range,
Gotcha.
and that's why I
Yeah.
want to keep it consistent that way.
Yeah, I think that the CGI for the most part, the makeup and costumes, even the acting, like sure, like we hated some characters. It was like it was all good. It's just the plot was horrible. Sometimes the cinematography wasn't great.
It's the writing. It's the writing is the
confusing,
biggest
it's
problem
the
with the show.
writers. Yeah, and that brought it down by 5 points nearly alone.
Like, pick a
It was-
side.
it's
Do you
very
want to be
poor.
modern and goofy and funny, or do you want to stick to the classical medieval type of shows like Lord of the Rings? Pick a side. You can't
That's why I
have
keep-
both.
That's
It
why I
looks
keep bringing.
stupid.
That's why I keep bringing up that show with Elijah Wood, the holistic detective agency, Dirk Gently, because that is like they go to a fantasy land, and that is you're in this fantasy land, but then there's the modern thing, but it makes sense because there's time travel and you're going through a different universe or whatever. So
I
like
never watched that thing.
again,
Sure, what's it called?
it's Dirk Gently's holistic
Is it
detective
good?
agency. It's phenomenal. It's by
Where?
It's on Netflix. It
Oh,
was
I'm
it was
gonna
done by
check that out.
Netflix.
Yeah.
It was the original story was done by the guy who did the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's the thing he wrote
Oh.
after Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Oh,
Galaxy.
I'm gonna go check that out for sure.
It's phenomenal. And it's
Okay.
this guy, there's time travel shit. Elijah Wood's in it. It's like gritty.
Sick.
They say fuck a bunch. Like it's
Does
an
it hold
adult
up
show.
today? How old is it?
Oh, it's I don't know, like six years old. Like
Oh, that's it?
pre-pandemic. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
It's fairly new. And it's fucking phenomenal.
Should
It was
just
also
talk about
shot
that.
in Vancouver. But it like that's they go to this fantasy land, and like that makes sense for the modern like talking and like their demeanor and all that. Like anyway, but that's like
this show. They didn't know what they're doing. The writers had no clue. Some of them probably never even watched a medieval show ever. The language they spoke, like, just pick a side. What do you want to?
even the goblins or whatever the fuck, or the orcs or whatever the fuck they're called. Like,
Trolls.
why did they all the trolls? Why did they all sound like Bill? What's that guy's name from Arrested Development? The glasses. I blew myself.
I know what you're talking about.
He was the analrapist.
I can't remember.
The
You can look it up.
analyst.
Wait, is he the
I'm
guy
gonna-
that is like family's well that he's
He's
doing
the
different
cock
jobs?
husband. Yeah.
So okay, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Nathan, you
Yeah.
give it a 5 out of 10 as well.
I give it a 5 as well. I agree.
Okay, and
What about
Justin,
you,
what did
Justin?
you give it?
Okay. His name is what the fuck's where is he?
John
Nice.
Cena.
Oh,
No?
Dun, 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 dun.
You just like you're just walking into it, so it's not
David Cross. All the trolls sounded like fucking David Cross. Hold on. I need to before I give Elvin tell people to
yeah, okay, I'll
to
tell them the
subscribe and
spiel. If you're watching us for the first time, welcome. If you are a part of our crew here, the A&R family, then thank you for coming on and watching us. Yeah, we're halfway through the show, so we promised we're going to put this to bed. Willow is done, probably forever, but we'll see. And we're going to get into the Bad Batch here. We're going to talk about episode 3. I'm going to catch up with these guys on their thoughts on episode 1 and 2 because I wasn't here last week. What's up, Sean? How you doing? Sean is a family member of mine, so say hi, guys.
Hi, Sean.
Hey guys.
Not hi, guys. It's only one
You
of
said
them.
say hi, guys.
Oh, funny guy. Oh.
I do that every time. When you
Anyway.
say goodbye, guys.
Support us. We would love it if you guys subscribe to our channel, leave a like. We do a lot of cool things. Speaking of, one of the coolest thing is I am so excited for this. This Sunday, we're doing Popcorn Chicken, The Last of Us, at 9 p.m. Pacific time. I'm turning the lights on. I don't know who's joining me. I have no idea who's joining me. Everybody in the team is welcome to join me. But I'm really excited to get into this show. This is one of the most anticipated shows for me this year. I'm
really
hoping
well
for love of
reviewed.
God, finally a video game adaptation that is good. Please.
Knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood.
Yes, please.
Don't
please,
jinx
please.
it.
Like, come on. We got to get one of these in the books, right? That's going to be good. So, yeah, 9 p.m. Pacific time, Popcorn Chicken will be dissecting. You see what I did there? The Last of Us. And we're going to go episodic breakdowns. I don't know. I think HBO is only doing one episode. They're going to be like that. They're going to drag it as long as they can. So we'll
They
talk
usually do that.
we'll talk and break down that. I don't know about your guys' schedule, but yeah, you guys can let me know if you're gonna join me. If I'll do it by myself, I'll do it by myself. I don't care.
I might. It's my girlfriend's birthday on Sunday. And I think we're doing a thing on Sunday. So we'll see.
But I will be here. And if anybody in the chat wants to come join me and ask me questions, come on in. I would love it. So it'll be fun. I can't wait. Seriously, I'm excited.
I'm very excited for this show.
Yeah.
And on all the reviews I've heard, it was like this is the best video game thing ever.
Oh, please.
Which is not
From
saying
who
much.
though? Who reviewed it?
A lot of
Tomatoes?
people,
no.
content
trust
creators that I respect the opinion of. A
Okay.
lot of them were the
By the way,
same
Nathan,
people.
you got some dirt on your chin here.
Yeah, grow a beard. Do it.
Can't get it off.
A lot of people
Kid should have
who
said
are
that with their
saying
armor.
that the Last of Us TV show is good are people who love the video game and are usually video game people, and who also were the same people who were like, after Obi-Wan, they were like, I'm not going to watch any more Star Wars stuff because I don't like watching things I don't like until I wait for somebody to tell me that something's good. And then they watched Andor because people they respected told them it was good and they loved it.
It wasn't
Andor,
me, though.
so wasn't you. So I'm going to give this show, Willow, season 1, a 2.
Whoa!
I would give it
That's
a
lower than
0.
any other score you give it.
You can't give it a 0. That means it doesn't exist.
I
You
would,
cannot give it a 0. Don't even bother.
I would give it a 1 if it wasn't for the camera work, the special effects,
I'm gonna go with the fat 0.
video game adaptation right now.
0. I got nothing.
What is your favorite video game
You got
adaptation
something?
right now?
Sonic.
Halo
fuck
was
Sonic.
garbage.
I need to
Sonic
think of a
and
couple.
everyone who worked on that.
Halo was garbage. Sonic is a movie. It's not a TV show.
Yeah, but it's video game adaptation. He
Oh,
said.
did he say?
Um,
did he say TV show?
Okay,
Oh, no,
okay,
no,
I'll
not
give him
TV.
Sonic.
just
I'll
said
give him Sonic. How
adaptation.
about that? Sonic was good for me.
Sonic can eat my ass.
Like Sonic wasn't trying to be like this. I don't know. I feel like Sonic
Was
wasn't trying
good.
to,
Sonic was good. I like the fact that they listened to the audience and made the changes and to the way he looked. Sonic was good. Jim Carrey is phenomenal in there.
Jim
Carrey. Yeah,
Jim
Jim
Carrey's
Carrey's good. Yeah, Sonic was good. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that I liked.
Resident Evil?
Do you know what?
I don't care for Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is pretty
Do
good.
you know?
No, I know, but personally, I don't care for it, so I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I'm
Like
saying
the
like
games?
the
Have you
movies.
not played the games?
I played the very first one, and then I was like, nope, not for me.
Yeah,
I
you don't
played
like horror
Silent
games.
Fair enough.
I played Silent Hill, and then when I got into the school and it was all creepy and stuff, nope, not for me.
Nope.
Bye.
I'm out. One of my favorite things to do. Have you guys played? What's that game? You're in an asylum in the first one.
Batman?
Amnesia.
No. You're in an asylum. You've got
Does
like one of
Batman
those
count as an
reporters
adaptation? The
What?
shows came out
No,
before the
because
games, so
no, because the
yeah.
video game didn't come out first. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
comics,
So that-
then the TV
yeah, no.
shows.
How about X-Men? Does X-Men?
No, it's TV show
X-Men.
first.
No.
No,
X-Men
there's
game
comic.
came out before the
Comic.
Yeah, but then it went to the video games
then
and then it became a
cartoon.
TV.
No, it was cartoon first, wasn't it?
No. X-Men was a video game and then it became a cartoon.
Was it
It was
really?
a comic first, wasn't it?
Comics
no, it
was
was comics
first, yeah.
before everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a video game and then into a cartoon.
I want to find.
All right, so
this
we
up.
got Mortal Kombat. Okay, well that's fucking garbage.
The first Mortal Kombat, the only thing good about it was the soundtrack. That's it.
Sure. Everyone.
I had the soundtrack, I would know.
Resident Evil, Tomb Raider. Doom.
Which one? I mean, I love me some Angelina Jolie.
There were
though.
some pretty okay.
She had very
Tomb
nice
Raiders.
eyes.
Oh, okay. Wait, I
Yes.
need to complain about Tomb Raider right now. I'm so sorry. You guys have played
Okay.
Uncharted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't even tell me you like that movie because I'm gonna smack you right now.
No, the movie was
I-
ass.
We didn't
no,
need a
of course not.
5'5" Nathan Drake.
No. The first. Trust me, I do not like Tom Holland in that.
And you're
role.
Nathan,
I like
you
him
should know.
as an actor. Oh, I know. Nathan Fillion should have played him, but that's all I'll say about
Yes.
that. But
Yeah,
100%.
first
Yeah,
Uncharted
yeah.
game. First Uncharted game was entirely. They just took that, changed it a tiny bit, and used it for the Tomb Raider movie, the more recent one that came out.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
Philippine
100%.
Forest.
It's absolutely just Laura Croft with a dick.
No, he's talking
100%.
about the other way around for the movie, the new Tomb Raider movie. He's saying all they
Yeah,
did
but
was
they're
take
all
They
just
took the plot
Indiana
from
Jones
Uncharted 1.
ripoffs.
yeah, they're at the end of the day, they're all any adventure stems from Indiana Jones, right?
By the way, I looked into the X-Men stuff, and I'm afraid Elvin is correct. So the first X-Men game came out in
You're
1989.
afraid? Pardon moi. Pardon
I was
moi.
correct. I'm afraid because I don't want to be wrong. But I will admit, Elvin is right. It is. It's the Uncanny X-Men.
I know.
Came
I
out
knew.
on the NES. Yeah, and then in 1992,
Jim
or I
Lee's
guess there's a
X-Men
show
comes on
before
Fox.
that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got that. But there's also Pride of the X-Men, which was 1989. But I don't think that
Yeah,
was.
nobody talks about that.
is-
No, nobody talks
Yeah.
about that.
But yeah, so I give it a 2.
Damn, that's just
a lot.
savage.
Because
You're
I would
cold-hearted.
have given it a 1 if I couldn't recognize the work, the good work that the costume department did, the makeup department did, and like the actors, again, we've touched on this a few times, but like the actors were all great. It was just the writing and directing
Should turn
that
off the camera,
made them
dude.
fucking ass. We hated every character because they were written poorly. It wasn't because they gave, except for, and this is weird, what's his name? The main, what's
Foreman?
Willow's?
Eric? Okay.
No, Willow.
Willow,
The actor?
Yeah,
the actor,
What about him?
Professor
What's his
Flitwick?
name?
What's his name? I forgot. now.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Warwick Davis gave the worst
Right off the top of my
performance,
head.
I think, in this entire show. Like Warwick Davis's
he did.
acting was the worst.
He
Which is
mailed it
odd.
in the way when he got his check in the mail.
100%.
He
was
mailed
just
it
like,
in.
Fuck it. I just
It's
woke up.
Friday. I ain't got shit to do, and I'm
Totally.
mailing it in.
No, I think
Warwick
you
Davis
guys
is-
did mention before though that he may have been trying to act the same way he acted in the first in the original
And
film.
he was like 9 years old or something.
yeah, he wasn't like a great actor then, so he was just trying to seem kind of similar. But it did seem
It can be defended away, but he absolutely was like a high school like theater performer. And
Is it
all of
just
his
worse?
lines and
Okay,
monologues.
I was in the
Can I
drama
ask-
club, but they're better than that.
Yeah, I know.
Can I ask a question here? Is it just me, but when a show is named after you, should you not be prominent and important?
Yeah, what the fuck did Willow do other than go, here's a stick that you actually, it turns out you don't need because the power of friendship is in fucking side of you the whole time. So you don't need this stick. Then I'm going to bitch at you for 3
The
episodes about
rainbow
losing
magic
and
is
breaking.
inside you.
Do you guys
It's just-
realize that like he gives this the same advice the Sith give? Like give into your passion, your
totally.
anger, your feelings.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sith Star Wars, that's their whole thing. But for Willow,
Oh,
it's like,
man.
nope, good job, do
Alright.
it, give into your anger.
Yeah.
Let's cleanse our palate with the Bad Batch.
Wait. Or do we want to save Avatar to after?
Yeah, we'll do them the after hours. Let's do the
Okay.
Bad Batch.
I've got a good joke.
Okay, Bad Batch episode
wait,
1
wait,
and 2.
wait. I need to entice people to stick around to the end.
Okay.
I was in a packed theater, and there was a prominent scene in Avatar that I burst out laughing and was the only person laughing in the theater.
I want to hear this. This is gonna be
I was
awesome.
the
people now.
like I started
Is that it?
laughing, and
And
everyone
else
was
going,
like,
"Shh," right?
everyone was like, "Oh no!" And it was like it was an important moment, and I
Oh.
could not stop laughing. And I have a great joke,
Oh,
a
man.
phenomenal.
I
joke
can't wait.
for it.
Okay, that's gonna be awesome.
Okay.
That's the after hours, right after we
Yeah.
finish Bad Batch. Okay, so you guys gave your scores for Bad Batch episode 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. Again.
I think we
Uh,
both kind of said.
Oh,
okay.
don't say
Wait,
that.
Oh.
yeah, don't say it yet. So my score for episode 1, I'm gonna give it a 7.
I think we paired them both together when we scored it because we couldn't really tell. We couldn't remember
okay.
what
fair
happened
enough.
necessarily.
Okay, so I gave it a 7 for the first episode, and I gave it a 6 for the next episode,
Yeah.
I thought they weren't bad. They weren't horrible. It just my expectation, I think, was a little bit higher for them. I thought they were going to really ramp it up. But episode 3, my God.
Yeah. I think we both kind of had the same
It
outlook
shut
too.
me up real quick. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Episode 1 and 2, we kind of lumped together because they were very much like.
So what did you guys give it?
Well, we both. I think Nathan made the point that the first season, the first episode of Bad Batch was like an hour, and both of these 2 episodes were like 45 minutes each. So it was kind of the same thing. These 2 episodes were definitely like a part 1 and part 2, kind of the same story. So they kind of did the same thing, also releasing them at the same time.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So we lumped them together, and I think we both gave it probably I think a 7 or 8 ish, like just kind of medium
around there.
So if I was to average, my score would be 6.5 then. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were both like, I didn't blow my mind, but it was entertaining.
Yeah,
and it was like,
it was entertaining.
It was like, oh yeah, these guys again, and it was like, yeah, this is fun. Omega, I think
I don't know what she did, but she grew up real fast.
Yeah, we were like, oh, Omega's not annoying, and she's cool now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, she's a clone that doesn't grow up quickly, right?
Yeah, she's
kind of like
and Boba.
Boba.
Yeah, her and Boba are the only ones that are unaltered as far as the rapid aging.
But she grew up pretty fast in this one. From like annoying.
She's an
kid.
asset.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't like the new paint
to
scheme. I'm not a fan of the new paint scheme of the armor.
No, but they just did that so you'll buy the figures again.
Like it pisses me off because they're supposed to be speed and camo, right?
Well, they were in a really vibrant tropical jungle.
Like when did they have time to paint their armor? Like I don't know.
They murdered a crab and stole its blood
hyperspace.
and plastered it all over him.
It looks stupid, honestly.
What we see with Crosshair, his armor is. I loved it. It looks so good.
It is.
Do you have it?
No, but I have one of the Dark Troopers, which is exactly what he is modeled after.
I have a Crosshair to give away, probably. I have a sealed one.
So Crosshair's new armor is very much like the Dark Troopers.
Yeah.
Which is a little Easter egg that I didn't see anybody on the internet talking about. So there's a and our first.
It's got the little antenna though, but this time with the antenna, rather than just being an antenna and a block or just an antenna, it's got an antenna and like a sphere sort of thing at the top.
No, he
not
had
a sphere, but like a certain. Well, yeah, no, that's. I'm saying that's something that differentiates.
It's a receiver, isn't it?
From the clones,
the Dark Troopers, yeah.
Well, it's a multi-purpose thing. So it generally in the Mandalorian armor, it is a receiver antenna and also a rangefinder.
Yep.
Yeah.
In Star Wars: The Old Republic, there are some armor sets, including the one I use, where as an action you could flip it down. It's very fun.
So let's
that's
talk about
a feature now.
Not all of them, but I've got a set of armor called, I think it might be called the Mandalorian Hunter or something like that. But it's really nice armor, and you can press like V as the action button for that, and it just flips down. So like you pull your weapons out and all that.
Oh,
so when you're out, it's your combat
animation,
stance,
like inspecting.
That's it. But you can do it while running around. So instead of, if you want to pull out your guns and do full combat mode, rather than only being able to do that in combat, you can do that anywhere. And it's nice because like your weapons might light up, your head, your gear all sets up.
So like when you're on certain speeders, they have an alternate animation thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
Okay, I thought you were saying this set of armor gives me like binoculars, and I was like, that's fucking cool. Also, Elvin, we talked about the Old Republic for like a half an hour last week, and then a bunch of other video games.
Well, let's talk about this episode. This I'm gonna say right off the bat here, could be one of my favorite. Could be one of my favorite episodes in a long time.
I agree. In
a far, far away galaxy.
I think this is probably my favorite episode of the Bad Batch because I liked last season. I enjoyed it, but
it fizzled off for me a little bit.
It did. It was very much a supplementary story of the Clone Wars. And this episode was the first thing that was like, oh, this is its own separate shit. Because this is the first time that, and we've seen this in Obi-Wan. We saw this in the Clone Wars, but we saw and I know, Elvin, you didn't like the show, but this is a thing that Andor did a lot. And the parallels between this episode and Andor and what they did to relate it to real world shit was, I think, a big reason why they delayed this show until after Andor. Because
That's a good
obviously
point,
this is
yeah.
a kid's show, blah, 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 whatever. But I think them setting the groundworks in Andor of just like relating it to real world stuff and like real world rebellion and getting that kind of more mature adult themes and concepts.
Yes.
In this episode, they are like, here's how veterans are treated like shit. And the second that new technology comes in, our veterans are just thrown to the wayside. And the government's coming in and fuck you for disagreeing with it. It's happening. And anyone who used to work for us is just garbage now. Fuck you. And that was just the theme of this episode. And a kid's show was just like, veterans don't fucking mean anything. And it was like, oh,
It was
Yeah,
crazy
this
to think
show-
that this is a kid's show.
yeah.
There's such dark themes. There's such like
It's a
whole ambience for the
complex-
whole show.
It's a complex story now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where before in the beginning it was like, hey, these are a bunch of goofballs. They're running and they're just doing missions to make some money to live. It's become more than that just by this single episode,
Yeah.
right? Like when you have Cody in the mix,
Oh,
showing
having
up.
Cody show up and then like,
and the interaction between him and what's his name, Crosshair.
Crosshair.
Having that interaction between the two of them was great because in the beginning they are both on the same page. They're both there to go do their job because they're soldiers. But the course of that mission, Cody starts realizing that moment where he is at the final stage when they go to rescue Admiral Rampart and what's her name? The girl does
Oh my gosh.
yeah, Crosshair, yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring that back.
And
You're not stealing that.
no, I'm not.
But if you
And
want
Like
one, I have an
Crosshair's
extra
new
one.
armor though. Crosshair's
If-
new
if-
armor scheme, it's just a pure black is a lot.
Yeah.
If
nicer,
you
in
guys
my
want some, I'll order some of those. Crosshair's new armor. But anyways,
honestly, well, like, so I like Star Wars figures. I've got a bunch there, and I like Star Wars stuff. The Bad Batch stuff, like you've offered me a couple Bad Batch figures before, and like after the first season, I was like, like I like the
now
show.
you're like, I should have.
It was cool. But honestly, after this episode, I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna mean some stuff. And also too, they had like kind of the introduction of Fennec Shand in the first season. I think she was a thing. Was she a thing before the
What
first
do you mean?
season?
She was
of
in
Bad
The
Batch?
Mandalorian. Yeah, Mandalorian.
Well,
Book of Boba Fett.
Bad Batch was before.
Was Bad Batch before the Mandalorian?
No,
No.
Mando was first.
Yeah, Mando was first.
But
And then
wasn't
it
she
was
not in Clone Wars?
That's what I'm. Hold on.
I
I
thought
don't
she was in
remember
Clone Wars.
her.
By no
My
means do
memory
we
would be
are.
bad,
By no means we are experts at Star Wars. We're just fans here, so do not say you guys don't know what you're talking about. We are always in learning.
No, I'm
know-
curious where she showed up first.
I thought she showed up in Clone Wars first.
Her first animated
might have been
appearance or
Clone Wars,
first
yeah.
appearance.
Appearance period.
I'm pretty sure her first one was The Mandalorian.
Live action, yeah.
Yeah, well, live action, but I also think that was her first appearance period.
Somebody want to check that? We can fact check
Mandalorian.
it. Okay, there you go.
She appeared in the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian first. And then
I know my Star Wars stuff.
yeah, Mandalorian first, and then got
because she
flushed
has
out
that
a bit more.
She has that fight with what's his name? Cad Bane, I believe it is, right? In the Bad Batch.
Yes. In the Bad Batch,
That's why I
Bane-
thought maybe it was Clone Wars because he
Yeah.
knows her, and I'm like, how does he know her?
Min Wei. What's her name? The actress who
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
her. She voiced her in everything. Ming Na Wen voiced her in the Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and obviously played
So
her
she's
in
in Clone
the live
Wars?
action. Yeah, she voiced her in everything.
So then Clone Wars is the first time then.
No, because Clone Wars came out after Mandalorian season 1, didn't it?
No.
No.
Clone Wars is before
No?
Mandalorian.
Yes, but I think she was in the last
season
season
7.
So didn't last
Yeah,
of
season?
sorry.
Clone Wars.
Okay, that's where. Okay, so I knew she was in Clone Wars, but
Yeah,
okay,
sorry, that's what I meant.
but-
Last season.
okay,
Last
cool.
season of Clone Wars, which came out after the Mandalorian.
Okay, so fair enough. Okay, so I wasn't
that was-
wrong. I was just
That
wrong at the
Clone Wars
timeline.
was
Okay,
when Ahsoka fought Darth Maul,
gotcha.
and it was the live action motion capture fight, and they had what's his name, who originally played Darth Maul, and he also played Toad. I follow him on Instagram. Ray Park. They had him come back and do the motion capture for Darth Maul in the Clone Wars for that fight,
That's sick.
which was fucking cool. So he had
So, I mean,
he
let's
was
talk
back to
about-
like his Wing Chun fucking fighting.
Let's talk
style,
about
which
this show
sick.
before we kind of get off the rails here. So the whole show, the whole premise is to go save Admiral Rampart, right? He's kidnapped.
Mhm.
Governor.
But
Not
Sorry,
Rampart.
Sorry,
no,
sorry, Governor.
not Rampart.
The girl-
Rampart's
Rampart's the
No,
one
no.
that sent them on the mission.
yes.
Yes.
This guy's
Vice Admiral.
name was Governor
Come on, people. You gotta know
Putrid.
this stuff here.
What the fuck's his
the
name?
governor.
The governor. You should have your notes, people. The fans, all 6 of them, are looking at you right now, going, "Come on, people."
Bad Batch. What
so-
the fuck's his name?
The mission is to go save this governor. Like I said, Cody and him have this mission. They're soldiers and they're on the same page. They go through this brutal fighting. I thought leading all the way up to the tower was really cool. How
It was great.
they split up, they diverted. Those droids crack me up all the time. Roger.
Yeah.
They just crack
They
me up.
annoyed the shit out of me the first couple times watching through the Clone Wars, because I was just constantly like,
Yeah,
ugh.
yeah.
They were the only reminder that I was like, this is a kid show. This is a kid show, because they're the comedic relief.
Yeah,
They're the thing that a 6-year-old would be like, haha, he's funny.
yeah.
And so they annoyed me because I'm a fucking adult. But also I had to take it with a grain of salt and again be like, this is a kid show. But then the Clone Wars will like have brutal shit a lot of the time, and then I'll be like, oh shit, this is a kid show. So like there's a bit of give and take with that. But I thought like a lot of the fights were cool. You got to see Crosshair do some cool sniper shit.
Yo,
And-
man, the paint scheme is like,
So
oh
cool.
man,
Yeah.
that
And also,
cold.
too-
He's so cold blooded.
Yes.
During the fight scene, especially with the droidicas, do you guys notice when they're throwing the droid poppers? Because they've been out of practice fighting these droids for so long, they didn't do the standard like clone practice of you roll it slowly so that way it can get through the shield without being bounced off, because it's based off of the speed of objects, and they screwed that
the
up a couple
momentum.
times.
But
Yeah,
also too,
I love
they
that
don't
detail.
over explain that. They don't go, they don't
Yeah.
go, oh, if you roll them, they'll get through the shields, like every kid show does or fucking Disney show does. They just go, you've already seen the Clone Wars. We already did an episode on this shit. If you don't know what's happening, fucking that's your
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
They just like fuck it
At
up a
this
couple
stage,
times.
if you don't know what Star Wars is, just don't bother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just like they fuck it up a couple times, and then when
if
he
Bad Batch is
throws,
your first time watching Star Wars, there's something
Yeah.
seriously wrong with it.
yeah, so they throw it on the one battle droid, the B1, and then
Oh,
he shoots the droid, so then he slowly falls through the force field and then explodes in it. I was like, hell yeah.
that was good. I love
And,
that.
And then
I
the-
also like the fact that these people, these last, standing off people against the Empire, They have old tech, old droids. They don't have new stuff.
Well,
They have
it's stuff that they've repurposed because
because that's all they have, right?
yeah.
Their back has been turned by the Empire. They're against the Empire, right?
The leader of this planet, Desix, which
Desix.
I thought was a close relation to Ferrix, because it's just a working town, just a mining town, bunch of just working class blue collar motherfuckers.
What's that song? Just a
every
young
day
boy from a old town.
Just a small town boy living in South Detroit. Yeah.
South Desix.
South Desix. And also the leader of this planet we saw in the Clone Wars or in the first season of Bad Batch. I can't remember. She talked about a treaty that she did with other senators, but there's an episode of that person working with Padme.
Yep.
Doing some shit.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was just gonna say, I love that. Just little
tidbit.
Not like I worked with Padme Amidala. It was just like, oh, my friend, this senator has done work with senators, and like that's realistic. Like nobody knows who Padme the fuck Amidala is.
That
nobody knows who the Queen of Naboo was. Like
she wasn't just throwing it out there too. It was like, like, please, I'm looking for peace. But like I've tried to make peace with you people. This isn't my example from the past. It's not working. This is why I'm not gonna like cooperate with you.
And that's where Cody's like, oh shit,
job.
She really is trying to make peace.
And we see the fucking like duality of man and the like how the clones their programming is breaking down, because the individuality that makes them different and makes them unique and that they've had how many seasons showing how the clones, their name alone, they are the clones. They are robots. They are just pieces of meat that are built and manufactured to fight and make a war that has been the benefactor of this oppression that then later became the Empire, and the individuality and the people who we've become fans of and people clones that we have grown to love and know who they are, even though they are the same guy over and over and over again. It was like, oh, that's the guy with the scar here. He used to work with Anakin. He had the yellow armor. He was the guy. Commander Cody. That's the fucking guy. And now we're seeing, oh shit, the inhibitor chip. Okay, now these are all the ones who have stuck with good soldiers follow orders, and they got through all that. Thank you.
That was pretty good.
And they got through all that, but even after the inhibitor chip, and like they are programmed to follow these orders, they still have a soul and they still have the individuality that makes them better. And he has a line too, like at the end of it, near the end of the episode, where they're like, what makes us better than droids? We think, we have our own thoughts or whatever. And so it's showing the difference, even though in the beginning only slight, the difference between clones and robots is they're still humans that you're making. It's still fucking people, and they're not just a mechanical being.
Yeah.
And seeing the turmoil throughout this whole mission in Commander Cody.
This conflict inside
conflict
Cody's
was just
the conflict inside Cody's head, like, and then what really put the icing in the cake for me in this show was at the end where you see Crosshair sit up from his bed and just ponder.
But also too, showing him in that bed in like borderline a prison cell, and they keep throughout the episode interacting with TK units. So the conscriptions, so the real humans, all of the people in those like helmets with like essentially sunglasses, those are all real people. And you keep seeing the few remaining clones talking about they're pushing this new thing through the Senate about the conscription stuff, and they're like, oh, I hope it doesn't pass for our sake. And just like, and then even those guys who are trying, this is the only thing, they were created to be a clone trooper, and the society that they were created by is now fucking pushing them out.
Yeah.
Even they are alienating Crosshair. And then you see him constantly waking up in this border, like what was the name of the episode? The solitary
soldier or something like that.
Solitary soldier, the lone soldier or something.
I think it's solitary.
Yeah. But you see him like waking up in essentially solitary confinement, like in this like 5x5 fucking bed cell. And then he just wakes up and he's just like, ugh.
Do you guys notice the tiny little detail where he actually sits up out of bed before the alarm goes off, like the morning alarm?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he sat up.
Yeah.
It's programming. Yeah.
Yeah. He does. And one of my favorite lines, Justin, you're talking about some of the stuff that Commander Cody said earlier, but one of my favorite ones was that he said was, at the end of the day, like we have to live with our actions.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, like all the stuff he went through with the war, all the stuff that's happening now with the Empire, it's weighing on him, and it's weighing on, I hit my mic, my bad. It's weighing on so many clone troopers, and that's why so many of them are leaving. They're starting to reach these epiphanies.
Get
of
PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys a quick question here. I know you're starting to say it's right. Do you think that by the end of this season, we're going to have Crosshair go back to the Bad Batch? Will he even be allowed back? And how can he be trusted?
I think he dies.
I think he'll die, but
saving
them?
Saving them?
Yeah. I think so. And I think if they manage to do that, like if the creators of the show manage to show that character arc, it's going to be just so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
But
you're right, Justin. I think he needs to die for it to be a really good effect.
Well, this is Dave Filoni, and he's not afraid to kill people off. And he's not a Disney puppet, as in the sense of, oh, we need to preserve this guy in case we need to make new series or whatever. Like, they're not going to make a Crosshair TV show or whatever.
No, I hope they never do.
No.
This is already a spin-off of another show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right?
Like, I think this episode is the start of showing because we had the first season, which was just like, here's this crazy rapscallion group fucking shit up and being goofy and funny. They're weird clones, and they're all kind of got their quirks and whatever. Like, it's kind of like an X-Men thing where it's like, yeah, they're kind of superhuman strength, they have all their abilities, and they're kind of an odd batch.
Not bad.
I think
the Odd Batch.
That's the spin-off show, the Odd Batch.
The weird ones. And I think the first two episodes were just like an establishing thing of just like, hey, they're kind of on the run, the Empire's fucked, and Wanda Sykes is now in the show. That was pretty much that. And then this episode, I think, is again with and I know, Elvin, you'll disagree, but with the positive outcry from Andor, they are now like, okay, we can tell real stories with small
real life affecting stories.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And I'm not saying that they did Andor and then waited to see that and then
this was
wrote
done
the show. I know this has been done for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the thematical pacing. They had Andor, which was super heavy, super dark, super slow. And now they're like, okay, now we're going to get back into the fun times. We're going to establish that Omega's older and she can hold her own shit now. Now we're going to get back into the hard shit.
I think the reason why you have this connection between Andor and this is because the two shows were not Kathleen Kennedy touched. There are two shows.
They're not space opera.
They're getting two shows that were strong people are behind it. You know, you
Sure.
have Dave Filoni and you have the gentleman who's the director for Rogue One who came out to do Andor.
Sure.
You have these two people saying, no, Kathleen, I know you're the boss, but if I don't get it to do it my way, I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
Right? And this is those two shows right here. They're
Well,
like,
it's not only if I don't get to do it my way, it's I have a track record and
Yeah.
showing that I
Believe
can
in me to
create
do it.
characters and a story that works in this universe,
yeah.
and it will be thematically different from what most people think of Star Wars,
Yeah,
which is a
exactly.
fucking ballsy move.
Yeah.
Because even the prequels, like, sure, like I would say that they are a success box office wise. Like when episode 1 came out, that made its money back.
Well,
When episode
it's funny
2
you
came
say
out
that because
in the theaters,
I was just
like, I
reading
mean, monetarily, those when that trilogy, when the prequel trilogy came out, they made their money back. But in general, the fandom learned to love episode 1, but for 20 years fucking hated it.
It took a long time
did.
for that bad
The appreciation.
taste to get out.
Yeah.
And now it's considered watchable for the even.
I'm
the
glad you
people who
guys have that viewpoint because I'm a prequel person. So
honestly, I didn't have a huge problem with it. I didn't have a huge problem with it.
I think I did later.
I hated
but like
Jar Jar Binks. I really
everyone did.
Oh yeah,
but I was
I
also the age. I was the age
That's pretty cold.
that movie was. When did episode 1 come out?
1995.
No,
99.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I was 10
I was 19
when that came out. I was the prime age when that
Why
movie
did I just
came
do
out.
that? It's so sad.
I was 1.
Oh, shut up! Shut up! Get
Fuck
out of
off.
here! Cut him off right now.
So I was 10 when that movie came out, and
No wonder you liked the trilogy. You're a gaga
Well, like,
guru over it.
I grew up with slightly different Star Wars than you guys. I grew up with the prequels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
you
being
grew up
my
with the
movies.
shit ones. Yes, I get it.
No,
yeah.
but
No,
they
like-
were good in a different way though, because I still love the original
No, I'm
trilogy.
just joking.
It's just the
I'm
prequels
joking.
no,
I know,
actually,
I know, but
this is
This is my
accidentally
thing.
the perfect like podcast for reviewing Star Wars shit because we have
yeah, that's true.
original, prequel, post. Like
Yeah.
as like when you were a kid. Let me get my angles right. When Jesus Christ, when you were a kid, the original trilogy was the one that you grew up with as a kid. When
Yeah.
I was a kid, like I watched the original because my parents are fucking good people, and they were like, "You need to watch Star Wars
The nerdy.
because
Yeah.
this is the good thing." And I watched it, and it was like, fucking Empire Strikes Back is the best movie ever created. So like I knew that.
Yeah.
And then I watched episode 1 and I was like, "Oh, this is pod racing." But I still was like, Jar Jar Binks is stupid. But I watched
Lisa, no talking about.
but I watched the Duel of Fates in slow motion. I got it on like HD DVD or whatever the fuck.
I love the sound effect and the soundtrack when they're fighting.
Duel of
Oh
Fates.
yeah.
It is
But
fantastic.
I rewatched
best part
that
of
fight
that.
in like slow motion. I'm gonna say 1,000 times.
It is one
Like,
of the greatest
I would just
moments. in Star
rewatch
Wars.
that the Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi fight. I would on my DVD player or on my Xbox or whatever the fuck. I would just like put it like frame by frame or like slow motion, and I would just every like 3 or 4 times a week would just be like, I'm just gonna watch the fight, and I would just watch it and be like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever.
You know, my youngest son hasn't watched that trilogy yet.
You
Really?
Yeah,
Why not?
get to experience somebody seeing it for the first time.
My youngest son. He's
That's
a Star Wars.
beautiful.
He loves Mandalorian. He loves it. He can't wait for it. I want to play this maybe just before we start watching Mandalorian together. So me and him, we do this thing because it comes out at midnight, and he thinks I wait for him to watch it, but I actually watch it at midnight. But I don't say anything about it.
Sure.
And then
No,
and then we
'cause you're a
watch
good
it.
father.
We watch it, yeah, because we watch it after he gets home from school, and then we'll watch it, and I'll be like, "Oh, did you see that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I saw that too." And like I want to
Dad shit.
Yeah, he loves Mandalorian. He just loves it, right?
Then that was his first Star Wars thing, wasn't it?
No. I will. He knows.
I mean, apart from the
So I
Oh,
made
no,
him watch
was
the
it
very
the
first.
sequels?
I made him watch the very first trilogy, but he didn't like it because of the old CGI and all that stuff. But he appreciates it.
Darth Gutierrez, that is a good point. The Clone Wars series connected episode 1, 2, and 3, and that's when people realized 1, 2, and 3 weren't bad. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That actually, you know what? That's a good point because everyone hated on the original trilogy or the prequel
I'll be
trilogy.
on the record. I did not
until-
hate it. I did not hate it.
No. But I mean, the internet as a whole.
No, you know how people
Yelled
say
at-
I'm always hating everything, so I'm gonna be on record.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it became culturally acceptable to like the prequel trilogy after the Clone Wars came out. I would argue that people. What was the other Clone Wars TV show? The one that had like 15-minute shorts, done by I want to
Tales
say
of
the
the
same
Jedi?
people who did Samurai Jack.
Wait.
There's
I don't
another
know.
Clone
That
Wars
anime
TV
one?
show. Yeah.
Are you talking about the anime, or are you talking about the movie that they did?
No, this is older. This is
Older.
before the like 3D animation.
Oh,
Clone
that
Wars.
one. Yes, yeah, the 2D one. That was great. Fantastic.
That came out first. And chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was Samurai Jack, the same animators or same production team or whatever, or at least a few of them. When that came out, because that was the first thing that wasn't video games that was like, oh, Star Wars can be fucking brutal, because there was a lot of like fucking cool shit in that. And that was when it kind of took a less, I mean, because the prequel trilogy again, and like Jar Jar Binks exists because this is a kid show and these are children's movies. Jar Jar Binks was made because
I want a
kids...
Darth Gutierrez character in the Star Wars. That'd be badass.
One day.
That's such a
Darth
cool...
Gutierrez, do you play the Old Republic? And if you do you have a character named Gutierrez and then use the title Darth?
I'm gonna say
if
no,
not,
he
you
does not.
fucking should.
But you know, the other thing is, I think with the debacle of the latest trilogy, I think people appreciate 1, 2, and 3 a lot more.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
They're like, I can't believe we shit on this trilogy when we just looked
the
at this
prequel
garbage.
trilogy is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
In
like,
comparison,
compared to that, they're like, what the hell were we thinking?
It's still
Why did
written
we
well,
shit on
and there's
it?
still cool politics. There's good character development. There's the memes alone.
Darth Maul is arguably probably top 5
one of the
all
best
baddies
villains
in Star
of all
Wars.
time.
Yeah, top 5.
I would say of
This is-
any movie series. Like
well,
Darth
I don't know
Maul,
about any movie. There's some baddies out there.
there is, but
He's got
Darth
a good
Maul
arc,
in
though.
Yeah, I know he does.
Through the
He
Clone
does, yeah.
Wars
He's
to
mysterious.
Rebels.
Even just in episode 1 as a mysterious entity. Now, I will say one thing. They I think fucked up Darth Maul in the movie because
They cut him in half.
no. But the fact that again, I saw it in theaters. It was at the it was I don't even remember the name of the theater. It didn't exist in Cranbrook where I saw it. It shut down a few years after, actually. But I saw it in Cranbrook, and it was a piece of shit theater that then
Famous players.
No, we didn't.
Red carpet theater.
No, it was a privately owned theater. Like there was
Regal Theater.
You're not far off. It's something
probably
like that.
Regal Theater.
But I saw it like day one, but all of the promotion and all of the trailers and everything, I think they should not have mentioned Darth Maul at all. They shouldn't have called it. They should have just called it the Phantom Menace. And then in all the promotion, and I know why they did it, because they needed to sell toys, and he's evil looking and he's demonic and he's scary looking. But how much cooler would it have been had they never shown Darth Maul? And then it was just called the Phantom Menace, which, I mean, by the name alone, Phantom Menace, you're like, what is that? Ooh, it's this like spooky entity that doesn't exist and you can't see. You're like, oh, it's this ghostly figure or whatever.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the movie, you see Darth Maul show up on Tatooine. And you're like, who the fuck is that? That would have been fucking sick.
Dude, when he lifts up the cloak and reveals himself for the first time on the big screen, I was like,
And
dang.
then John
We got a
Williams.
Darth Vader worthy adversary right here.
Well, and also
The
he
whole
was voiced
song,
by a
too,
different
like,
guy.
yeah.
In the Phantom Menace. He's a British actor. I can't remember his name. He was in Shaun of the Dead. He was in a bunch of panel shows.
He only had like 1 or 2 lines though in the movie. They're good. Like it's still ominous.
It was at last we'll reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge. But it was
we're always gonna stay humble. That's the way it goes. Always
Well,
appreciate it.
for now. As we grow.
I speak for myself though. That's the way I'm gonna be. That's it.
But yeah,
did we give her a score yet? We haven't even given her a score yet.
No, we haven't. Peter Safowitz.
Is that the voice actor?
That was the guy who voiced.
Easiest paycheck he ever made, Peter Safowitz.
Oh,
do you guys think that the Phantom Menace actually referred to
this guy, Peter Serafinowicz?
Oh, she looks kind of like a mobster from The Godfather.
He was in. Yeah, he's been in a bunch of shit. Anyway, he was the one who gave the beautiful lines.
Do you guys think that the Phantom Menace title refers to Maul, or do you think it actually refers to Sidious? Because
I thought it was referring to Jar Jar Binks. He's just a Phantom Menace.
No, that's the thing. My favorite.
Not Tyrannus, sorry.
Darth Binks. My favorite Star Wars theory.
Plagueis.
Yeah, my favorite Star Wars theory was that Jar Jar Binks was a Sith Lord and he orchestrated the whole thing. Because there's so many like good points, and it absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, you finish.
Oh, like how? Oh, he's just a bumbling idiot, and that was his whole ploy. But like, he bumped into Qui-Gon Jinn. He got them to go to Naboo. He got them to start a war. He then, weird. I'll take charge. Padme will now entrust me. And he's the one who voted in Sidious Palpatine, and he's the reason why Sidious Palpatine became the Grand Chancellor or whatever the fuck, the leader of the Republic. And it was just like, oh shit, Jar Jar Binks is a fucking Sith Lord and orchestrated this all. Me so stupid. I didn't
stupid to do any of that.
when the sequels were coming out, I was so hoping that was going to be real. Like, I know it's kind of crazy, but that would make Star Wars so much better. Like, this bumbling, or at least the Phantom Menace better, because you'd think, like, oh, he's actually no longer a bumbling idiot. He's this genius mastermind. I just wish that, like, if they did make him Darth Plagueis, that he didn't speak with that annoying voice. That it turned out he could speak normally.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't do that.
Let's give a score on the Bad Batch here.
It's episode 3.
Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna say a 9.
Ooh.
Okay. Like, I don't.
You're reaching high there.
I would honestly, I would say a 10 if.
Okay. That's crazy talk.
No, but like as far as the story and like in the universe that I love and also like uplifting a series that I didn't really care about. Like, I was like, yeah, it's good. It's entertaining. It's fine.
But I have to agree with you. Until
it was
this
a supplementary storyline that, like, the Bad Batch characters, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's cool. But, like, Clone Wars, I gave a shit about because it was a lot of backstory. This is the first Bad Batch that I was just like, oh, shit, this is doing something, like, important. And this is telling the backstory of an entire race of people, essentially, and filling in their like lineage and soul and humanity and like giving gravity to and Commander Cody and seeing his progression and like getting somebody who has been a companion to some of our favorite people who then betrayed them, and you watch this happen, and he was the first guy who received the order on the battlefield and then was just like, all right, fucking murk all the Jedi, and they're like, yes sir. And now you see him fucking go AWOL? Like, fuck.
Yeah. I have to. Yeah, Nathan, do you want to give your score? Or should I give it?
You give yours first because I think mine will be a
Okay.
bit different than yours.
Okay, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I think this episode made me sit up and go, all right, I'm all in this one. Let's do this. This was like the first 2 episodes. Okay, cool, bright, beautiful
it was
crabs.
fun. This one was important.
Beach, nice, animation. But this was like, all right, we're doing this. Okay, shields up, red alert. Let's get on this one. I know it's Star Trek. I know.
Yeah.
But I did that on purpose just to piss off the Trekkies.
No,
Trekkies are all shaking their heads.
One.
How dare you! But no, this has me hooked and ready for the next episode. Definitely. Yeah. And it deserves, in my opinion, a high score for that. 8.5 for me, for sure.
For those of you tuning in for this first time, that's a very high score.
We're not talking about Willow.
We're not. Yeah, this is not a Willow score at all. Okay.
Just in general, yeah.
Even if you combine 5 of the episodes, the scores that I give, it still won't be 8.5.
If you combine up all of the episodes,
Justin's on the time
at all.
Oh man, yeah, 8.5 for me. Yes, Nathan, what say you?
Okay, so hear me out first. I'm gonna give this one a 10. This for me. Perfect.
Okay.
I know it's a lot. Give me a second.
It's not perfect. I know. I want to hear you. I want to hear you.
For me, this was perfect. Yeah. There's actually a ton of hidden symbolism in scenes.
Yeah.
There's that giant wall with what was
the
it?
Names of the fallen.
Yeah, the names of the fallen, and it's symbolic because Crosshair was sitting there while all the new stormtroopers were marching past. It's showing like he's kind of being left behind. He's being stationary. People are moving forward without him. Seeing the stormtroopers with the helmets compared to the clone troopers and seeing how they kind of interact with the world and the differences between how the world's viewing the stormtroopers the clone troopers now compared to before, having little hints about the politics of the day,
but also that being subtle too. Like a lot of the TK troopers, the latter half or latter I would say quarter of the episode, there was no dialogue. It was just all soundtrack, just all the I can't remember the composer, but all the music, and it was just, there was no dialogue. And to have an animated kid show and you have 15 minutes or 10 minutes of no dialogue and it's still just telling a story and it being impactful and important, like fuck me.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm giving it 10 is all that stuff. I was happy as a Star Wars fan. There's no point where I didn't just feel absolutely thrilled with it. It was a dark, powerful, deep story that wasn't lackluster. It was filling. I'm looking forward to the rest. I'm not nervous about the season.
Yeah.
And it's that relief. Maybe it's because I watched it immediately after Willow. And there's such a difference in quality.
It was I turned Willow off and went to Bad Batch.
But it might be just a difference in quality that made me rate it 10.
I hear you.
I'm not trying to compare though.
My reason for not having it higher than 8.5 is because the main cast wasn't even in this one.
Sure.
But that also shows how strong one of the cast members can be.
Yeah.
If the story is good too.
Keep in mind, the best episodes of the Book of Boba didn't have Boba Fett.
But also, keep in mind, me and Justin gave it a solid 7 and 8 throughout the show. So Boba Fett, we were naive, just like Justin said.
No. Again, our scoring system is not related to other shows.
Yeah,
we are. The first episode, which is usually the best episode, or at least should be, it's the establishing one. This is like, here is the level that things are going to be. And when we rank something at what the first episode or first 2 episodes did, and that's the bar that season sets. And
we set the bar, and we can't really go lower than that because that's the bar.
Yeah. And I think the first 2 episodes of this, or let's call it the first episode, the intro,
there were 6 and 7 for me. They were around that.
They were just like, hey, it's these guys again. and it's going to be this. And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, this is fun. This is fine.
Yeah.
And then having them go, all right, you remember who those are? All right. Remember this guy who's a fucking dick to them? Hey, remember Commander Cody? Well, here's some deep shit. And it's just
Yeah.
ugh. And so I agree with your 10. I would have given it a 10, but there's like a couple, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
would've
just
said
I just
no,
feel that
it's their own.
I just feel
No,
the
no,
Bad
no.
Batch are not in the show, the episode. I can't give it a 10. That's all. That's the
Yeah, no,
only
it
reason.
It was the bad one.
Yeah.
No, I know, I get
For
it,
me,
but I'm saying, like,
but,
for me to give a show 10 or this show a 10, I would want the main cast involved some ways.
Sure.
Well, that's fair enough. It's just honestly the feeling I got from watching that show was that episode was just so good for me in the moment.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And
I'm
even
only
now,
giving
I'm still enjoying it.
I'm only
Sorry,
giving
go
it a 9 because I honestly expect them to one up this episode.
Ooh, okay.
That's
Alright,
that's the biggest
That's
reason is like
fair enough.
this. I think this.
I
was
don't
a
know if they
perfect
can, man.
episode.
I don't know. Maybe the
I
ending
think
where
this
he
was
kills
a
himself.
perfect episode, and it
Yeah.
did so much, and it was so heavy and impactful, and such an important episode that I do think they're setting something up. And again, this is a new series and new batch of characters, so obviously the first season is just going to be nothing but filler and introductory and world building or whatever. This episode, I think, was an absolute like perfect episode. Even the nitpicky stuff, the only nitpicky stuff I have is just the battle droids, but that is to do with this series. That is what the battle droids are like. So they obviously are going to continue having them be dopey comedic things for kids because it's a kid show, and
Yeah.
they're not just going to be like, oh, now the battle droids are like regular droids. No, they're still going to have them do this.
Although those couple other ones were just like calling climbing the walls and shit.
Oh, the assassin droids or whatever.
Yeah,
those
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 are
guys
pretty
have
cool.
been in the Clone Wars, and they've been fucking cool as shit. And they're
Yeah.
also in Battlefront.
They're good at fighting
Also,
Jedi.
too, they are, yeah. We didn't talk about the staircase scene with
Oh, the
was
sharp
so-
shooting of across there
Yeah.
with
with
the little
mirror,
reflector mirror
deflector
things.
mirrors. Yeah.
That was so fucking cool.
Oh man,
Like,
that
and something like that in a kid show could be lame as shit, but like it was something they didn't lean on too heavily. They did it, I think, twice. He threw a thing, he shot a guy. He threw another thing, he shot a guy, and you're like, oh,
I'm
that's
telling
cool.
you right now.
And then he threw the third one, and he was like, Cody, throw it as fucking far as you can.
Yeah.
And he threw it, and they did like a slow motion thing where it's just like,
Like, ping, 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 ping.
and it hit like 5 things.
It's like a
and you're
pool
just
shot,
like,
trick pool shot.
That was so fucking cool.
I'm
And
telling
then
you right
never
now,
touched it again.
if they make a live action of this show, I will cream my pants.
Oh yeah.
It will be so
And it will
insane.
also cream Tamir Morrison's pants because he will be getting so much fucking money playing 18 different characters.
Yeah, no. Oh man, I want a live action of these guys. I really do.
That would be
cool.
good, but I'd
Or
be worried that they might screw it up. That's my only concern. It's something that I love
No.
already.
I don't think Dave Filoni will allow that to happen.
that's true.
hope so.
Actually,
I
you
He
know
didn't
what?
screw- everyone thought Ahsoka's gonna get screwed, and she turned
No.
out fantastic.
Oh, Ahsoka, the character in general, yeah.
Oh,
Darth Gutierrez,
thank you very much.
You should watch season 2. It's
honestly-
starting out to be something really important.
It's fantastic. Even though we've talked about it, I still think you should watch it because it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
really good.
It's amazing. It's groundbreaking for this show. I think it takes it to
For the
another
show,
level.
yeah.
Takes it to
It-
another level.
It is now Bad Batch now after this episode is now at the level of Clone Wars.
I agree.
It was a subsequent show, and again, it was just a side show, like not sideshow as in like clowns or whatever. It was just like, here's another story of something, like whatever. Doesn't really matter. Here's some guys.
And by the way, we do
But-
appreciate your support as well. Thank you.
Hell yeah. But now, after this episode, it is now established itself as, oh, okay, you are as important as Clone Wars as far as the side story and
Mhm.
the world building of the clones. And they're no longer just, these are just clones of Jango Fett and they fuck shit up and then they turn into stormtroopers. Okay, bye. Now it's like They're characters. They are people. You know who they are, and you love a lot of them, and you hate some of them, and that, yeah. And also, too, as far as like a franchise, the fact that you have a clone army and you have different clones that people like and that have their own backstories as a franchise, like Disney is like, they're just seeing dollar signs. They're like, they all look the same, they all sound the same, and we could just call them a different name and give them a scar or different color armor, and they're a different person and they have different stories and people love them. We can make millions.
And Hasbro going, we can make the same figure 15 times.
Oh yeah, Hasbro's just fucking laughing.
Even if I
laughing
put a
in the
paint
bank.
on the helmet, it'll be a whole new figure. Sweet.
We can just make them yellow and they'll buy it again. Fuck it,
Yeah.
okay.
And suckers like me, like, okay, take my money.
Yeah, we're like, ooh, okay.
You know that what's that? The Futurama guy, the meme.
Take my money.
Take my money. Yeah, that's me right there all day long.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
speaking
no,
of Hasbro, are you guys on Monday going to talk about the Indiana Jones stuff?
No, not really. No.
Okay, good. It was disappointing.
Oh my god, it was terrible. It was terrible. People are making fun of it all over the internet.
What happened?
Yeah, I was very
Indiana
upset.
Jones figure line was announced today by Hasbro.
Is it
Not
garbage?
good. It's not good.
Do they look
No.
like Shia? Which one do they look more like?
They all look like Shia
or
LaBeouf.
Harrison Ford?
That's the bad news. They all look like Shia LaBeouf. Even
That's funny.
Harrison Ford looks like Shia LaBeouf.
Wait, is Shia LaBeouf in the new Harrison?
No,
new
no,
Indiana
he's
Jones?
not.
We
Don't
do
worry,
not
he's
speak
not?
of this.
Okay.
This
I love
child.
Shia LaBeouf.
I'm telling you
thought-
right now, you're gonna cry when you come out of the theaters, Nathan, because Indiana Jones won't exist anymore. They're gonna woke the shit out of it with this girl. I'm telling you right now, that's the story. They go back in
I'm
time.
trying to be positive.
Well,
I want Shia LaBeouf to
Oh.
ride on a motorcycle, have a bitch in leather jacket, and find some fucking gold. That's what I want.
It's not happening, my friend.
I just want
She's
another
in it-
movie
she's
where
gonna-
there's nothing.
She's a niece or something of
crazy.
Indiana Jones. They go back in time. He ends up getting killed, and Indiana Jones doesn't exist anymore, and she does.
Wait, Laura
That's
Croft?
what's happening. Take it to the bank.
The director's
Croft?
already said that's not going to happen, though.
We'll see.
So
I've seen many
Not if
directors lie.
Kathleen Kennedy has anything to say about it.
Kathleen Kennedy just like, we're going to recut the whole thing, guys.
Guys, I've got a good
Killing Indy off in
idea.
the first scene.
Female Indiana Jones, they'll never see it coming.
He's gonna go into a fridge. Remember when he saved his life? But this one, it gives him cancer. Then they
Yeah.
go into the past, and only
This time the fridge breaks all his bones when he gets flung a couple kilometers.
this time it's not one that's sponsored by Disney, so it kills him.
How the door
don't have
stays
a
closed,
brand
who
deal.
knows? Who cares?
Whatever. It was built in the 50s. It's probably made
Yeah.
of tank armor.
Is built to last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maytag makes some good fridges back then.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna go pee, and then we're gonna talk about Avatar.
Okay.
Because I'm really excited about this joke. I'm really
Okay,
proud of
all
this
right,
joke.
Go.
Oh gosh.
And then there
Nervous about
was
this
two.
joke.
Yeah, I hope it's.
When did you see Avatar?
I saw Avatar the opening weekend, so I
Oh.
got to see it. I don't know. Like, I want to save it for when he gets back, but yeah, my kids and we went and watched it. I will say one thing. I thought it was too long. I thought
Yes.
3 hours and 20 something minutes was just too much. There was a lot of times where I thought the show could have did a little bit of cutting here and there. A minute here, a minute there, 30 seconds here. It would have shaved off at least 20 minutes if they'd done that. And I think 3 hours, I can stomach it a little bit more than that 20 more minutes. Because you kind of like, your body kind of tells you, okay, it's been a while you've been sitting here. And I think the 3 hour mark is when the body just starts saying, okay, let's get out of here. And so to add 20 minutes on top of that, you're just like, okay, I'm done. Like, I just want to leave. I don't even care if there's an end credit scene or not. Was there an end credit scene?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
At least if there was one, I couldn't stay for it. For me, I went when I had a knee injury. and I'm not supposed to have my knee at 90 degrees and have weight on it. Now, I didn't have weight on my knee, but keeping my knee in that position for about 3 hours, 12 minutes, whatever it was,
20
I
minutes. Yeah.
felt like I had an iron rod going through my leg, and I was in so much pain. I was just gripping the
Oh.
chair, stare. I'm like, and also, I don't know about you, but I hate some of the movie theater chairs that lean back a lot because I'm too tall for them. So my neck is like cranked up. I'm super
Wait, which theater did
uncomfortable.
you
I
go
got
to?
Silver City Cineplex. I went to the
Yeah,
IMAX
that's your biggest
3D
problem right
theater.
there. If you had gone to Landmark, you have full-on recliners.
Do they have like the full headrest?
Full-on recliner.
Like tall enough?
Lazy boy recliner, Nathan. With a
I
cup
gotta
holder.
change
And
theaters.
I do not go to Cineplex anymore until they upgrade their seats because Cineplex, I love you. We do our charity with you guys, but you gotta update those seats. Those seats are horrible baseball seats. I don't want to go to a theater sitting on a baseball seat. Check out the competition Landmark because they do heated reclining seats that recline all the way up with your legs. You can straighten them out. Plus, you know how you have to like tippy toe in front of people to go through your seat?
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
you got like
Not
you
a
got a
landmark.
big boy room in front of you.
Landmark. You could put 3 people across the hallway there in front of you.
That would
It
have
is
solved my knee
it
problem.
is the best experience. Landmark. I do not go to any other theater, except at the time when we do a charity at Cineplex. But Cineplex
Which
has
we're grateful
told me,
for.
Cineplex have told me that they are renovating their theaters one at a time. The one we are going to go to next year is the newer version. Let's see what they got us in store.
Oh,
Hell
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Let the free market
Nice.
decide.
I stopped collecting Black Series. I love Star Wars, but Black Series sucks. Yeah, Darth, I reduced my Black Series intake. There was a whole set that came out, and I only picked up Aura because she's the only one in my collection I wanted. But yeah, I don't care for Black Series that much because there's too many repaints,
Yeah.
and
It's
I'm getting sick of tired of it. They need to start
They're
adding
not-
some.
like the fact that the stormtroopers and all the like the weird fucked up knees, like they're not innovating at all with their figures.
It's that they go one step forward and then 2 steps back.
Unless you're talking about Saw Gerrera. It's no
he
straight up.
did make it. He did make it in my.
He made it in the honorable mentions.
Yeah. He
I will
made
be
it
right
there.
back.
The
Okay.
amount of detail and effort that was put into that figure,
He deserves to be there. Yeah.
and had no reason to, because like nobody gives a shit about Saw Gerrera,
Nope.
and
And he actually stands.
he does.
He doesn't tip over like every other figure that I have.
I've
Pretty
switched
good.
to old Milwaukee's
Yay.
lady beers. Actually, they're not
Yay.
called lady beers anymore. Old Milwaukee used to have pinup girls on them. No, they don't.
Aw.
It's disappointing. No, you can't call them. There's no ladies on them. Anyway,
Sucks.
yeah, I went and saw Avatar, and what did you think of the first Avatar?
I thought it was groundbreaking. I loved it. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, right? Like I
Sure.
love space first and foremost. I love cosmic space. I love exploring new worlds. That's why I love Stargate. I love Star Wars,
Hell yeah.
Star Trek. I love all this stuff. So for me, when I saw that, I'm like, this is fantastic. This is insane.
Mhm.
And then to watch it in 3D, holy shit,
Yeah.
So I loved it. Did it age well for me? So I did watch it about 5
I was gonna
times.
ask. Actually, that was gonna be my follow up question. Was have
Yeah,
you seen
I
it
don't think it
recently?
aged well for me.
No,
The
it
story
did not.
you could definitely start seeing holes in the story. You could definitely start seeing that the story wasn't its strong point.
The story was the weakest point, and so I saw the first Avatar in theaters in 3D, in IMAX 3D, whatever, like the thing that you were supposed to see it in, right? And I think for me it got overhyped way too much, because I heard like, oh, it's the most important, greatest movie ever created, and blow your mind, fuck. And I saw it in 3D, and I was like, oh, cool, 3D is cool. And then after the first 10 minutes of them being like, there's jellyfish in your face, I was like, okay, cool. Anyway. And then my brain stopped processing that as a fucking cool thing. And then I was like, okay. And like the graphics are phenomenal.
Oh.
CG, even
Yeah.
the first one,
Yeah.
phenomenal. But it gets to a point where after the first 10 minutes of seeing all this cool shit that looks photorealistic and looks amazing, your brain stops being like, this is amazing. And it just goes, this is the thing that you're watching. So I will give credit to the first and second Avatar. The immersion is spot on because from the start of the movie all the way through both movies, I was immersed the entire time, and I had no part in my brain that was like, this isn't real. This is 3D animation. The entire time I was like, this is real. So I have to give credit for that.
Man, I gotta go get a drink. You guys are drinking too much here.
Cheers.
What are you having now?
I've moved on to lady beers.
No, Old Milwaukee, classic. Peroni, it's Italian.
No, lady beers. They used to have pinup girls on them, but now they don't.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were referring to it in a different way.
No, no. Lady beers.
That's why I was correcting you in that. I'm like, no. But sorry.
No.
Yes,
I mean, they used to have pinup girls, like old, like 50s style, like.
Yep. Oh yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. But I was saying, Elvin, the first Avatar movie I saw in theaters, saw it in 3D, saw it in IMAX, whatever the fuck you're supposed to see it in. And after the first 10 minutes, I was like, "Whoa, 3D!" But after that, my brain stopped processing that as an amazing thing, and it was just like, "This is the thing that's happening." And I was like, "Okay." And the graphics were so phenomenal and so great that
For the
again,
first movie or
after
the second, which are you talking about?
both.
Okay.
So the graphics were so good that there was it didn't take much for the suspension of disbelief. So the immersion for Avatar 1 and Avatar 2 were phenomenal because after the first 10 minutes of watching the movie, I was just like, this is real life. This is real.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll wait till Elvin gets back because he's a huge fan of the first one. Yes. And that's what I was saying to Elvin. I think it was overhyped way too much to me because when I saw the first one, I was like, wow, this is going to be mind blowing. And after the first 10 minutes, I was like, all right, my mind's done being blown. And then they were like, all right, here's Pocahontas, the movie, the live action, or Fern Gully or whatever. Here's an indigenous tribe, and then white people come and fuck it all up. And I'm like, okay. And then what?
Only after one white person joins them. You got to have the one white person join them.
Yeah, you got to have the John Smith to come in and fuck the indigenous person and join their side, and then be like, no, they're actually people. And so then Avatar just did that, and I was like, oh, it's just Fern Gully, it's just Pocahontas, but with blue people. Okay, then what? Like, they fuck a tree. And I'm like, okay. And I see cool shit. Weird. It's like, I've also done acid.
In the first movie, at the point when they're gonna like bulldoze a tree, they're lighting it on fire, they're shooting it down, and they've got one guy who's an avatar in there.
Mm-hmm.
That avatar is like $1 billion, and they're like, fuck him. Just kill him. Yeah. There's a guy that's like in him still, so he's gonna like have the feeling of dying, but fuck him.
It's like the Matrix.
$1 billion.
If you die, if you die in the Matrix, you die in real life or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second movie, the exact same thing happened. Also, I think they gave up on the 3D real quick. In the first 5 minutes, they have what's her name do a bow and arrow thing, and she points the arrow right at the camera, and I was like, oh, they're doing the 3D thing. And then after that, they're like, fuck it. The depth of field is a little more creamy, and you can kind of get that somebody's farther away. But they fucking gave up on the 3D thing real fast in this movie. And then
3D has gone a long way, though.
Well,
I know they stopped kind of doing it, like really focusing on it for the cinematography style, but do you guys remember the red and blue lenses? I still had that when I was young, going to the theater and you put it on.
I had a friend who had rich parents, and he had a 3D TV, and they had like the glasses that you needed to charge with a battery because they actually like you're muted, Elvin. And they actually had the frame differentiation, and it would actually do it's essentially a shutter speed trick where they will be showing something on screen at a certain frame rate, and then the glasses are essentially letting in different frames interpolated. I think it's anyway. You essentially have two movies playing at the same time, but at different frame rates, and one is set to the one frame rate and the other set to another frame rate. That's how they did it in the old days, back in the 1900s or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But I had a rich friend who had those, and it blew my fucking mind. But there was only like 2 movies that used it, and they were fucking garbage.
It's like Thanks Killing 1 and 2, or
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, no, they were, I think one of them was exclusively a 3D movie, and it was literally just like the worst movie ever, but they kept putting their hand at the camera, and you're like, whoa.
They went in that direction?
Whoa.
Or that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But this movie essentially just did the same thing, but I didn't have the 10 minutes of like, wow, this looks beautiful, because it's 2023 and everything looks fucking amazing. And the first movie too, I was like, wow, this is really good graphics, but also I've just played video games all my life. So when the first Avatar came out and they were like, look at the graphics, and I'm like, I have a PS3. Like, I've seen, they're not good games, but they're borderline photorealistic, and like the immersion is more so because it's a video game. So like graphics don't blow my mind. But again, their immersion was great. There you go. Now we
hear you, Alvin.
But we don't have your camera now.
But I'm good. I'm good now.
But Justin, you're right. Like just with games, and especially Marvel, some of the bigger budget Marvel movies, this stuff's already kind of out there. Avatar's thing during the first time was very much graphics, and look, we've created this really cool world, and there's like an underlying plot that we've stolen from another movie, but it's fine. It's just it's mainly the graphics, and the acting was good, and they created a whole language and all that.
Well, and also
the Navi.
If I'm wrong, this was one of the first movies that was shot in 3D.
I think
a lot of movies have adapted 3D or shot.
3D wasn't a new technology, though. 3D wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But this was the first movie that was like, we are going to shoot this in 3D, and that was
as opposed to making a 3D effect after.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I think that was part of its marketing, and that's why it was like, you have to see this movie in 3D, because it was like one of the, if not the first, but one of the first movies that was one of the first blockbuster, multi-million-dollar movies that was made in 3D.
It also ushered in a phase of TV manufacturers making 3D TV screens.
Totally, and also every movie after this had a 3D version, and most of them were fucking ass. But yeah, so I mean, this one was much more of a war movie compared to the first one.
It was a bigger scale war movie, but the storyline still was the same.
Was it?
It was.
It was just. I feel like the first movie had a bigger war than this one. The first one, they had a whole scene of like, I'm getting all the clans. I'm going to the water people. I'm going to, the horse people in the plains. This one was only that one water clan. No one else.
I think.
Yeah, I think but this smaller. One was much more like an action.
The military
movie.
scale. This other side was bigger, I think.
Yeah, because this.
But the actual size of the battle was small.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, it was, but like the first one, it spent way more time being like, here's these people, here's the planet that we're introducing you to, here's all this weird shit, here's all these creatures, here's how these people live, whatever. So it spent more time in the nature aspect and the spiritual aspect. And this one was just like, okay, we already know that. Now, you know, the people that we introduced last time, now there's water versions. And you're like, oh, yeah, those guys. And they're like, yeah, instead of dragons, they got whales. And the white guy, he's coming back, but he's not white now, but he's still.
I just thought that was so weird how they made a version of him, the one thing that he despised. You know,
they were just like, we cloned you to the thing that you wanted to eradicate, and he's like, okay, sounds good.
I'm in.
He's like, all right, I'm strong.
And then all of a sudden, the where was a little meteorite thing that they were fighting for in the first one? Adaptanium or something like that?
Unobtainium.
Yeah, and that just went away to the side.
Name.
I know.
That just went way to the side.
Unobtainium, which was one of the stupidest names for a material that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I remember laughing about that in the first one.
They should call it what Wolverine's claws were made out of. Adamantium.
Adamantium. Yeah.
I would have been
like,
okay
at
with
least
that.
put that in the universe. Like, fuck it. There's some planet. It's that's
Adamantium. We'll sign a check to Marvel. They'll be happy.
Unobtainium.
So, but speaking of that, that went out. Nobody cared about it anymore. Like this
never mentioned in this movie.
$1 billion thing that they're all fighting for in the first movie just went out the window. Now we have golden goo from a whale.
Yeah, it got replaced with whale DMT.
Yeah, which will give you everlasting life.
So the first movie, the reason why they're going for that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the unobtainium was helping like power stuff on Earth because they had exhausted.
It's essentially like space uranium. They can make. It's like plutonium the best thing ever. Stuff, yeah, it's plutonium. It's all the things. It gives you power. Yeah. It gives you indestructible metal. It's all the things.
But now people are dying like, on Earth.
We'll take whale brain jizz, and this is
we need this because it's the fountain of youth. Blah blah blah. And it's just like what?
What's that one celebrity? What's her name? She has that makeup company called Goop.
I have no idea. You can search that up. But
it's like Chris
owner of Goop.
I just thought the story was the same old to me. I didn't find anything interesting.
Gwyneth Paltrow was funding this whole exploration to get more goop.
Goop. They should just call it Goop. I would have been okay with that too.
And we're back to the Creepy Crawlers TV show.
For me, I was just like, what the hell's going on here? It was a lot of this movie was spent showing water scenes. I did not need to see somebody swim for 15-20 minutes. I think 5 minutes would have been more than enough to me. Seeing someone swim in the water and exploring the underwater world, you know, like I don't know. A lot of the movie was spent with this, and to me that was just a waste of time.
This movie was 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And 3 hours of that was underwater scenes.
3 fucking hours.
Yeah. It did not need to be that long.
I don't think that the movie now let me give credit to the movie. Again, the immersion was phenomenal. At no point did and I'm always a stickler for this. If I'm watching a movie and the CG is kind of off and it looks weird, or there's a weird bit where I'm like, they cheapened out on that, or they shouldn't have gone with that production house. They clearly weren't paid enough because they didn't have enough time to render that, or the particle effects on this part were not done very well. They didn't take long enough, whatever. There was no part in this movie in the whole 3.25 hours that I was like, that was done cheaply. Every single part of this movie looks fucking photorealistic and perfect. So in a 3-hour multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar movie,
it's $1 billion. Yeah,
it's $1 billion movie.
I think it cost $2 billion to make.
Yeah,
it was $2 billion,
and it fucking shows, because at no point did it look like, oh, that's done in a soundstage, that's done on a green screen, that's the water and part of, like, everything looked phenomenal. Everything was perfect.
Well,
visually, everything was perfect.
They were trained to hold their breath for 6 minutes underwater. And what's her name? The one from Titanic, the female lead. What was her name?
Rose?
Yeah, what's her real name in real life? That's not Rose. Oh my god, punch it up, somebody. But anyway, she actually broke the Guinness Book of Records for holding water
Kate
underwater. She held it for 7 minutes.
Kate Winslet?
Yeah.
Kate Winslet? No, I thought Tom Cruise held that.
No, Kate Winslet broke it in Avatar.
Okay.
7 minutes.
I'll quickly add, when you're not
the water wasn't real, Elvin. That was computers.
No.
Elvin's right. Elvin's right.
I'm
They
kidding,
did do
I'm
an underwater thing. Okay.
Kidding.
So they
When
actually
you're not
were
moving,
underwater
though.
for a lot of the scenes too. They had to mimic their movements, so they had their little, dots on there and whatever. But they had they couldn't put the giant bubble breathing thing.
No.
So they had to learn how to hold underwater. They had trainers, coaching them throughout the whole process.
They paid Tom Cruise to help them train to breathe underwater. That's why it cost $2 billion fucking dollars.
The Na'vi taught them. They learned it.
By the way, do you guys know the next movie? What element it is?
Air.
Fire.
Fire is a joke that I made. This is not the joke that I've been alluding to. Because of the Avatar name, and I'm just like, oh, now they're gonna go to fire because
they are,
and then Aang's gonna show up. Oh, it actually?
It's fire.
No, they are. Yeah, they're going to the Ash tribe or something like that.
The fire tribe. Yeah.
Yeah, Aang's just gonna show up,
and they said it's gonna be the most explosive of the three.
And when does Appa show up?
Justin, you said there's a moment when you started laughing. When was that?
Jake Scully turns on the lighter fluid and goes.
No. The part that I laughed my fucking head off was the very end, the climax of the movie.
Oh, wait.
Okay. When Jake Scully is underwater with his adversary fighting. And what does he do? He chokes him out.
Oh, yeah.
He suffocates a guy who's underwater, who can't breathe. You're underwater. And his move is, I'm going to choke you out. I'm going to make it so you can't breathe. You're already underwater, motherfucker. They can't breathe already. So he just,
I guess you can...
he chokes. Sure, you can cut off the blood vessels, but that's not why you choke somebody out. You choke someone out to make them not breathe. Then they pass out from not breathing. You don't choke somebody out to cut off blood to their brain. That takes effect after, long after. You choke someone out to get them to stop breathing so they pass out. You're already underwater. He can't breathe. So they were underwater fighting and he starts choking him out. And I'm like, wait, what? And that's when I started laughing.
I didn't realize that.
That's when I started laughing. Yeah, I was like, he's underwater choking a motherfucker out.
You know why I didn't realize that?
Because he's already not breathing.
The only reason I didn't realize that is because I think I was sleeping at that time. Because I looked over my son, my youngest son, he was knocked out. He was sleeping. He was literally sleeping. My oldest son was awake watching, and then I think I dozed right after that.
I just started laughing.
In my theater, started laughing. It was a little later on when Jake is like talking to the chieftain, and he's like, "Oh, you're one of us now because your son, lies dead, with our dead." And then Jake's like, "I guess that's it. We're sea people now." And people just started laughing at that line.
Yeah.
It's so bad that line.
He should just say we're seamen now. Seamen.
Yeah. I love the and I to give credit to the movie too. Like there was a lot of cool things. I loved they were sea people. I love the Maori integration.
Oh yeah.
When they started getting ready for battle,
was a
they
little
started doing
over the
haka
top
stuff.
The Maori thing
it was like
that's
it happened, and they started doing the haka stuff, the tongue things.
The tongue.
Yeah, they started doing the haka stuff, and I know it is, but it was.
Oh no, yeah, no.
It happened, and I was like, oh, of course.
It was a bit over the nose on that.
Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
I mean,
they did.
Sure.
Say that
I'm not hating. I'm not hating
it on them.
No, I'm just saying.
I did not like this movie, but
the fire people. I better see some sick ass barbecues. That's all I gotta say. Like
Who do you
I'm
think the
gonna
fire
see
people are
some
based off of?
Yeah,
barbecues. They better have some sick ass barbecues going on the beach or something.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
but
like, what
who-
culture?
What? Yeah, what culture do you think they're gonna fucking
Africans.
How are the Africans fire people? I think it
Because-
needs to be something to do with volcanoes. Lots of
I gotta be
volcanoes
very
in the area.
careful what I say here.
we all do.
Is there spicy people?
Us especially.
Or maybe Indians. Indians. Maybe Indians.
Okay, sure.
Right?
Yeah, but I think it's
Fijians.
technologically
Yeah,
advanced.
no,
for that.
that's
No,
that's,
Fijians.
no,
There's
that's
a
water
volcano
people.
near y'all.
Those are water people.
There's not a volcano near Fiji.
No, there
Okay,
isn't.
well,
Volcano.
my ignorance
The
shown.
closest volcano is New Zealand, which is about 3-hour flight.
and okay, one thing that fucking pissed me off. Speaking of Kiwis, what's his name from Flight of the Conchords?
I know what
Played
you're
an
saying.
American while he was surrounded by fucking Kiwis. He was on the boat, and there were
Oh.
like 3 Kiwis, 3 New Zealanders, and he was like, "No, I'm American." And I was like, "That's not why I'm excited you're here. I want to hear the fucking New Zealand accent." And he was like, "No, these whales are great." And I was like, "No, I want to hear you say these whales are fucking great."
Like, apparently, The Rock was on that boat with them.
No,
You
he
guys hear about
wasn't.
that?
He wasn't. It was the wish.com version of The Rock. I heard people in the
Yeah.
theater, including my girlfriend, being
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Is
yeah.
that The Rock?" And I was like, "It's not The Rock."
No, there's
It
no
was
way
just
they're
I
wrong.
never
another
saw that.
fucking. It was just another fucking big Samoan dude with tattoos, with travel tattoos. But it was like douchey
But
travel
in
tattoos.
Samoa, they just call them normal people.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like Steve.
Yeah, Steve from
He
South
works
Samoa.
at Kinko's. Yeah.
South Samoa Joe. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
No, if fire people, let's see what it's all about. It's gonna come out in 2 years. They've already begun filming it, or they already
Oh, they did that
did all-
years ago. They started filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already finished
fine.
it.
Thank God. What's
They're
the
nearly
fourth
done.
one gonna be? The air people?
No, the fourth one, we know the name of it. It's I forgot the name of the whale things, but it's the whale rider.
So just new more water shit.
Oh my
It's going to be more water stuff.
It's called Avatar, and they're just doing Avatar: The Last Airbender, but
At
with
this-
blue people.
At this point, shouldn't the people who are coming to colonize it say, "Fuck it, let's go to the next moon over"?
Well,
like-
that's the thing. It's just been Pocahontas. There's with blue people, and this
But-
one.
You've got
And,
this
like-
great technology to intergalactic traveling. Just go. To
I
the
thought
next...
the ships were cool. I thought the ships were
No,
cool.
no,
They
no. It's all
landed,
great.
they
What
were-
I'm saying is, after 2 attempts to colonize this planet, you get your ass handed to you. Just move on to the next moon. This is a moon, by the way, too. It's not a planet. Because
Yeah,
the planet you
exactly.
see in the background. I'm
Yeah.
sure a planet that big has more than one moon that's viable.
Yeah.
Well,
Just go to the next
here's
one
the
over.
thing, though. Like, realistically, we haven't even found a planet right now that we're like that we can tell that has life on it. 3,
No, we found
Doesn't-
3.
3,
Yeah,
really? That have
potentially.
got like trees and shit. Potential.
No, none
No,
of
no,
we-
no. There's water and hydrogen that they found, and
Oh yeah, but that's finding stuff like that, and then there's finding trees with fucking monkeys and blue people.
yeah, no, we haven't found any with like actual life. We just have there are 3 planets that they're like, oh, that is
potential
things potential that life lives in.
that nobody is for certain that anything is in that atmosphere. It's all potential.
like
That
bacteria.
we're
could
still
be here.
years away from using the technology to determine if there's actually livable atmospheric conditions.
Yes.
There is a
Well,
way
no,
to
just
detect
give it a
it.
little bit of time.
No. The
Elon Musk will
atmospheric
colonize
conditions.
Mars.
No. The atmospheric conditions that's already been figured out. It's the actual. It's if there is an atmosphere that we've already figured out. It's if it's one that could sustain us as carbon-based life forms.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There's a planet. Okay, this is a complete non sequitur. There's a planet that they've discovered. I want to say it's in our solar system. Anyway, I don't remember, but it is instead of a carbon-based life form system, it's a methane.
Yeah, that's
Based
the
life form system.
Titan on Saturn.
Yeah, which
It's all
just
methane.
means
All methane.
that just everyone will just smell like farts.
Yeah. or you'll have cheap gas for the next millennia. If you can import that over here, Esso and Chevron are right on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rains methane. So
Yeah, you're gonna start up your Bugatti and it's just gonna sound like.
Well, better than what Tesla sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like a transformer. You just load up a better sound font.
I want to ask you guys this because I had trouble figuring it out. The first movie, the whole big message was like environmental, save the planet.
Love nature.
Bad guys want to take down the forest.
I see you. I see you.
Yeah. What's this one? Yeah. Don't wail.
AOA.
We don't do that anymore. There's like don't trust white whales.
No, it's AOA still in the water.
Yeah, but like they're hunting whales. That's like the only major thing that they're doing now in the water. That's the big thing that they did this movie.
Whales have DMT in their heads and they're extracting.
But when you try and take like a real life like lesson from this, what James Cameron's trying to teach us about the world, don't wail, it's evil. We stopped that a while ago. There's only one country that really does it.
Just remember, this was 10 years ago. This script was written.
Yeah, but even if it was 20 years ago, it would be kind of old news.
But this is James Cameron. As much as people love this guy, I've heard lots of negative things about him, who he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a nice person all the time. And that's normal. Everybody has their days. But from what I heard is he's a very stubborn guy and sticks to his ways. He will not waver. He doesn't care. And he said it. If you don't
sounds like a boomer.
He's like, if you don't like the 3 hours and 15 minutes, whatever I have for this movie, and you have to go to the washroom and you miss it, oh well, come back and watch the rest of it again.
Well, I heard that in a different light. I heard that like, oh, it's 3 hours. I have to pee. He was like, it doesn't matter. People will come back to watch it a second time because it's so good.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care. Come back and watch it again because it's going to be great.
Yeah,
and you don't want to miss it.
It wasn't. It was mediocre. And like, I did not give a shit about this movie because like I saw the first one and I was like, okay, whatever. It was fine. And then my girlfriend was like, oh, we gotta go see Avatar. And then she hates action movies. She hates war movies. Not hates, but like,
I just want to know is
the
how
type of movie she wants to go see. And so at the end of this, she was like, oh, this is just a fucking war movie. And then I was like, yeah.
I just find it ridiculous.
This movie, I came out of this movie with the same mindset as I did the first movie. It was just like, yeah, it was fine.
I just came out of the movie thinking, like, how does a race that travels through the solar systems get their ass handed to with a bunch of bow and arrows? You've got some of the most advanced technological weaponry available. I mean, why do they not have lasers? Like, shoot lasers.
They don't have enough unobtainium.
Because lasers aren't real, Alvin.
Yeah.
Just make believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but blue people are. Okay.
Yeah, and they can clone people into a different race and then also have Sigourney Weaver fuck one of the scientists.
Like, they have so much advanced technology, but they just can't beat random people in an island or in water.
There was like a plot twist that they tried to do where they were like, oh, who's this
Spider
breed?
Spider.
No, not Spider. No. The girl. They were like, who's this
demon?
girl?
Oh, Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yes. No, exactly. It was like, who's this girl? Who is she? And I was like, that's Sigourney Weaver. And they're like, well, who is she? That's Sigourney Weaver. That's her daughter. They're like, and then like halfway through an hour, 2 hours into the movie, they're like, it's Sigourney Weaver's daughter. It's like, yeah, it's mocap by I've watched Alien. I know what that motherfucker looks like when she's scared and she's playing a teenager. She's been scared the whole time. I know that's fucking Sigourney Weaver. And they're like, that's Sigourney Weaver's daughter. And I was like, oh,
the second I saw her, I knew that's Sigourney Weaver.
And then I heard her voice and I was like, oh, that's Sigourney Weaver's voice, but it's pitched down digitally. Yeah. And then they had a bunch of promo being like, oh, Sigourney Weaver, she trained to make her voice sound younger. And I was like, it didn't work because I can hear the digital artifacts in the Dolby 39,000.1 surround sound that they digitally altered it because I don't know, maybe just because I'm a fucking engineer, I can hear this shit. But when the second she talked, I was like, well, that's digital. They altered that digitally. And they're like, who is she?
And then she's supposed to have these mythical superpowers or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
where did this come from?
Yeah, she centered her chi and she talked to the airbender and she could commune with the fucking aminals.
How did her mom even
It
get
was
pregnant? Her
very
mom was
predictable.
dead.
Every single time they introduced something, they were like, "Oh, here's this thing that it can help you breathe underwater." And I was like, "Okay, they're gonna get trapped somewhere underwater, and then she's
Yeah.
gonna use the animals to save her family." And then it's like, "Oh, they're trapped underwater in the boat."
By the
And I'm
way,
like,
I got a
all right,
question.
Sigourney Weaver's probably gonna come in and fucking save the day.
By the way, I got a question. Okay, so you know how the humans they need a breathing apparatus to breathe in their atmosphere,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because the atmosphere is weaker.
sure. I don't remember.
Why, when the blue people go inside these buildings and they're atmospheric lower, why
They
are
did
they
explain
not
that.
suffocating? Huh?
It did. It did.
They did explain.
They can live longer, and
Okay.
and it shows them they took a breath like every 5
Oh,
minutes.
okay, so they can handle it longer. Okay,
They can handle it longer. Yeah.
okay.
I think
that
I think it is. I think
that was
you
the
have
part
it
I was still
right.
sleeping. I think that's why I didn't see
I
it.
I think you have it right, and I think it honestly it's a quite intelligent like scientific thing, where it's just because they are larger and their lungs are bigger, they can absorb less, or it has something to do with the carbon dioxide, where their body can filter it better, or they don't use it as much, or they need less, or something like that. So it's I think it's a size relation, and they just need less oxygen, or
I would think if
their
you're
body.
a bigger animal, you need more oxygen.
Yeah, but I think it's
Well,
they
the-
filter
Like an elephant
carbon.
needs more oxygen than we do.
Like a fish.
No, they
filtering
breathe
oxygen out
slower
of
though.
water.
Sorry.
It's kind of like a fish gill thing, even though they don't have gills. But it's like they can take more oxygen out of the air through their lungs.
Yeah, it's more efficient. Elephants breathe slower than us, though.
I thought you said
Justin,
Alvin.
you
breathes
mentioned
slower.
this. Justin, you mentioned
Alvin's
this earlier.
Alvins do generally, yes.
Yeah. If there's one thing I
They
know
always
about
blow out
elephants.
hot air for more as well. Oh, yeah. I don't know. What did you guys give it out of 10?
Wait, Nathan, you were about to say something.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you mentioned that it was very predictable. It's like honestly, anytime they introduce something, the water thing with like this will help you breathe, underwater. As soon as they introduce the freaking kids, I'm
whale.
like Eldest is gonna die. Eldest is just gonna die. You've got the irresponsible, slightly younger brother,
Spider Monkey
super
Boy.
serious
I don't know
older
what
one.
the hell. I don't know what's his deal, Spider Monkey Boy.
Oh yeah, and then
I was
he
like-
fucking
I was like, he's gonna
saves
get
his
kidnapped.
illegitimate. Yeah, he saves his illegitimate dad. Right when he paused for a second, I was like, if he saves the fucking guy who doesn't care about him,
Yeah.
who he doesn't care about, actually he hates, and is the catalyst to this whole thing, and then he turns around and he's like, "Fuck," and he saves him. I'm like, oh great, okay, oh yeah, that's right. They're making a third one, of course.
It's like Obi-Wan letting Vader go, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like this guy's gonna kill. Just get rid of him right now, and you'll solve all your problems. But he
That's it.
saved
make
them.
a third
honestly-
movie, and he gave a shit about his kid for about a half a second.
Yeah.
After
It's too predictable, this movie.
explicitly telling him, "We have no blood relation. I don't care about you. I'm not your father."
Yeah, I'm a DNA
That
clone.
was
I
a
have no
lie.
feelings.
Yeah.
Are they in the
okay.
third one gonna clone him back to the regular dad now?
No, because he's alive again.
Oh,
He's
man.
still
So
alive.
then-
Imagine if there's two of them.
Yeah. Okay.
They will
what-
fight.
so the dark skins had a longer tail that is blue and bigger arms. What do you think the redskins are gonna have?
Are you crazy?
You're asking if
I don't
these
even-
guys
I
bought
don't
any
even-
McFarlane figures?
I don't even buy
They would
McFarlane
never.
anything. Period. Forget Avatar.
Any of you buy? No. I who?
Yeah. No, hell no. There's no way I'm buying any Avatar. I was gonna buy
I'm
the
clipping this if you buy a single one, and I'm putting it on the internet.
No, I do not buy Avatar figures. I was gonna buy the Lego set just for the shorts. Remember, I showed it a picture in Discord. I was like, "Hey, you guys want me to buy this to do shorts?" And Michael's like, "Hell no."
Yeah,
Like,
and then
no.
none of us responded.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Okay, fair enough. I'll put it away." But yeah, no, I gave this movie a 7.5.
I'll get a 5.
Wow.
Look, it was fine.
Wow, look who's starting 2023 negatively.
No, I'm not saying negative. I'm saying it's in the middle. Like, it's fine.
7.5 is
For-
pretty decent.
No, 7.5. Okay, I'm not gonna just.
I guess my
argue-
metric of scaling is different than yours.
I'm
When
saying,
I say 7.5, it's not great, it's not trash, it's like somewhere in the middle there.
in my head, 7.5 is this is great, and I'm leaving room for improvement of something to wow. If something's an 8 or a 9 or a 10, it is blowing my mind and is borderline perfect. A
Okay.
5 for me is just being like, yeah, it's fine. I'm not mad at it. There was problems with it. It did good things, and I enjoyed it. It was a mediocre. I don't regret watching this. It
Yeah, for me,
set out to do the thing it tried to do. It didn't blow my mind. It didn't disappoint me. It was just like, yeah, it was a thing I watched.
it was like it's amazing looking idea. The CGI is
Totally.
fantastic. There was a lot of time and care put into this thing to make it, and for that, I it's automatically 5 right there, and then the other 2.5 went to what it took for the story, like how to continue from there and continue the story on to another part of the planet. They showed that there's other elements, and then the race there in that area developed different evolutionary build. They had
Yeah.
fins, they had lighter skin tone. It showed reflection of
No, they were
how
more blue.
they're a shade of blue. Yeah.
Or no, they
Uh,
were more green.
Yeah, they were more turquoise.
Yeah. They were
Turquoise
sea
is the
foam.
the turquoise was the color I would put it at.
The sea
Whereas
foam blue.
the Navi tribe was more of a sky blue because they're sky people, right? So
Yeah.
that will explain it. So I guess the fire people are going to be red.
Sure,
I
that'd
think they're going to
that'd
be
be awesome.
like a grayer. I think they're going to be slightly grayer to match ash.
Ooh, like an.
All the
They'll be
rocks and
more
that.
ashy.
Like barbecue ash.
They'll be
coal?
ashy.
Yeah,
Coal,
kind of
clean
like that
coal?
actually. Kind of coal, dirty
Clean
coal,
coal?
but not
Clean
black
coal like Trump
Actually, yeah,
says?
you're right. Clean coal.
Clean coal.
Oh,
Trump said. Clean coal. Yeah, brothers. I want barbecue
So
as
that's
well.
some
They
of
better
my-
be really good at. They better be really good at barbecuing. Like I
Yeah,
swear
they better.
to God.
if you go
Better
to-
barbecue the fuck out of a whale.
Oh
Go to
man,
Disney
like,
I
World?
want a montage of a whale barbecue.
I want a giant
You
rotisserie
don't eat the
whale.
whale.
No. Like a what's it called? Okay, so I've played a
Whale
few shows.
kebabs.
No. There's this might be a super white person thing.
That's okay, go ahead. We're after hours here.
I don't know, but there's a few festivals that I've played shows at.
Diwali.
Were they
Eating
like
whales there?
no, well so it's like a they're trying to like get back to like Viking metal
Okay,
root
yeah.
things, and they will bury a pig, like an entire pig, underground, and then light like it's just buried in coals and embers.
Yeah. I see that.
That's original
And-
barbecuing.
Yeah.
And they'll just bury an animal under a molten ember thing.
Yeah. So in Fiji, they do something called lovo, and what
No.
is
Hold on. I'm only saying it's a white people thing because it was at like some douche metal festival and it was not fun and none of the people there were great. I'm 100% not saying that this is a white people cooking thing because I know it's not because it was good. And it was done with like spices and seasonings and peppers and it was delicious. But that type of cooking absolutely is not a white people
Yeah.
thing.
So in Fiji, it's something called lovo, and it's very popular. It's very similar to a luau, but they don't put it on a rotisserie or anything. They dig a hole in the beach, and they wrap the food in banana leaves. But they have a wet banana leaf and dry one. They wrap it and throw it in there. I think Nathan probably knows about this. And then they put hot rocks on top, and they let it steam throughout the day, and then they bring it out. I've had it. My uncle actually did it in Boundary Bay. He actually did it there. He spent 8 hours setting it up and then
so
cooking
good.
it. And the food came out, and it was just the juiciest chicken, the juiciest lamb. I swear to God, it was one of the best food I ever ate at the beach. It was insane.
Honestly, banana leaves are like the best cooking utensil for meat and rice. Like, period. Like,
well, if you don't have a plate, just go get a banana leaf. There you
no,
go.
but also too, it just like adds flavor and moisture. Like, you wrap like a rice ball, like a lot of like Chinese
yeah, I know what you mean.
like
they steam it and then put it in there and wrap it up. Yeah.
Or you just wrap a bunch of rice and meat in a fucking banana leaf, and
it's amazing. I don't know how we got to that, but fire people better bring it.
Fire people better fucking We haven't seen
Disney's
any
gonna milk that.
cuisines.
No. Disney World. You go to Disney World. They've got a Pandora area there, and they do.
They can now start. They can now start. What's the term? When white people come. No, what's the term?
Would you stop with the
Now Disney has an excuse to gentrify every cuisine, and now Disneyland is like, finally we can.
Is Cameron gonna go woke and have like a
He already kind of is.
A gay.
Cameron's too old to be.
Do you think he'll have a gay tribe or something like that?
No, he's fucking 90 and white and a billionaire.
I'm not opposed to it or anything like that, but I'd be like, do you think he'll do that in Avatar, where he's gonna have like two males as a relationship and show it on screen?
Sure, maybe. You know what, the fire
females.
tribe. You know what? Make the fire tribe the gay tribe.
We're very sassy.
You know what? Make them the fiery tribe.
We're
Fuck
so hot.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
We're on fire.
They're fucking fire.
Like this. Oh man.
Get you know what?
If you laughed at that, if you laughed at that scene, you would laugh at that so hard.
Get RuPaul to be the leader of the fire tribe. There's $1 billion movie right there. You get RuPaul or like Bob the Drag Queen to be the leader of the fire tribe.
I'll never watch that.
And they're fucking fierce. It's gonna be I will watch it 5 times over. It'll be the best Avatar movie.
Get RuPaul out of here.
Get RuPaul the fucking Avatar, and you will make $1 billion.
No.
Hell yeah, that is my queen.
Who
played the queen in the last movie? Name.
It's gonna be the air people.
No,
that's the RuPaul, the air people.
No, name the last queen that we just saw in the movie. You can't.
I have no idea.
What's his name?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy with the mustache.
No, the queen.
He has no
exactly.
idea. He has no
Get
idea
RuPaul to be the leader of the fire tribe. Done.
Oh my God.
Or you go super meta and you get what's his name, Zuko.
Freddie Mercury.
What? No. Bring Freddie Mercury back from the dead and get him to be leader of the fire tribe. No. You go super meta and you get what's his name? Who is Rufio?
Who?
Rufio.
Rufio from Hook. Dante Zuko or Dante Basco. Who is?
But okay, what do you think?
No. I'm not done this. I'm not done this tangent. Dante Basco, who was the voice actor of Zuko from the Fire Tribe. From
oh my God, that would actually be pretty cool.
You get Dante Basco to play the leader of the Fire Tribe in Avatar, who is Zuko, the leader of the Fire
in the
Tribe.
Avatar,
in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Then you get a bridge between the thing. I think everyone would lose
alive?
Every nerd would lose their shit. And then
you make the voice of Iroh. Uncle Iroh, his voice.
I have no idea. I didn't watch Airbender.
It's really good.
I watched the first movie, but then I didn't watch the TV series.
No.
Yeah, I didn't watch the TV series.
The movie
That-
like 10 people to move a rock 4 feet.
Yeah, fuck that.
The rock's that big. That's pathetic.
Oh,
Well, Netflix is going all
what's
in
the
with
song
Airbender.
that he sang?
That leaves of the vine. Leaves from the vine,
Leaves
something
of
like
the
that.
Vine. Leaves from the vine.
Cry.
Okay, we're way
We're
out
not on
of-
a tangent. We're still talking about Avatar.
my
You go
God.
fuck yourself,
Oh
Alvin.
my god! I'm gonna go home now.
You're
That was one of the most gut wrenching emotional things, apart from maybe
Yeah.
the dog from.
Palpatine returned.
That's the first time that anyone other than me has used that.
Oh my god! You guys still haven't given me your score yet.
Oh,
No, this
I
is
said 5. Nathan hadn't yet. I said 5. It was
Uh,
perfectly
Yeah, I have
average.
Nathan.
It was
Give me your
fine.
score.
4.5. I didn't like it.
Whoa!
That's
I
fair.
really didn't
You
like
guys
it.
are
Now,
evil.
I will admit, part of
Let
my
this
score
be on record
could
that
have been.
2023, I am more positive than these two blokes right here.
Yeah, that's true. But
Okay?
keep in mind, my
Sure.
kneecap was my kneecap was out
Man,
of the socket.
I don't want to hear
while
about
watching
your
the movie.
weak ass kneecap.
I was
okay?
in
I'm talking
pain
about
watching the
movie.
whole thing.
Exactly.
That's
The
I
whole
know,
movie
I know.
did not alleviate you of your pain. That's what
Okay,
movies
watch
should
it
do.
again
It should
with your leg all
bring
fixed
you
now.
out of your body. It should bring you to another world, and it didn't.
A whole new world.
And whole
Pandora.
new fantastic.
Don't you dare
point
close
of
your
view.
eyes.
The only thing that was good about Avatar 2
Hold your
was
breath. It gets
CGI.
better until they
and
try
the
and choke
actors.
you out, even though you can't breathe already, and choking you out doesn't make any more sense.
God,
I'm gonna go
the
watch that
CGI was
again
good,
and
of
laugh.
course.
Yeah, no, like I give it a 5 because, and Elvin, I think you were not here for this, but like the first movie and this movie graphically is amazing, but I already play video games, so like graphics don't fucking blow my mind. If something, and that's what I
No,
said,
that's
is
not
like
fair,
the
because-
immersion. No, I'm saying the immersion was spotless, was seamless. There was no point in the movie where I was like, this isn't real, this isn't happening. But,
No,
like,
but
that
what-
doesn't make a good movie.
I just
There
think
was
that the
one point.
idea, the creativeness is pretty cool.
Wait, let me quickly point out
They
one
already
point.
did that.
There's
though. Something
when they're
new.
in the submarine thing and they're chasing like the kids in the seaweed field.
Yeah.
There's one shot where you're looking from I can't remember if it's inside the sub or outside. I think you're looking outside, but you can see the people sitting surrounded by glass. So you see the humans directly with like all the CGI behind them and in front of them and all that. And it
Mm.
looks, in my opinion, that moment looked fake. And like this
Sure.
clearly looks like there's some two real
green
people in
screen or whatever.
costumes with
Yeah.
with like fake animation around them. That's one point. It's not a deal breaker 'cause the whole movie generally looked great.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like I noticed that.
I'm shocked that you guys give that low score. I really am. I don't think I
hated
understand.
the plot.
I
The
understand,
plot
but the
nothing
plot
new.
was the same as the first one.
It
right?
absolutely
It was the
was. But that's
same.
what I'm saying. It
It was the
didn't do
first
anything
movie.
new. It like graphically, like sure, if you watch Avatar 1 and then watch Avatar 2, Avatar 2 probably looks way better, but so has technology and so is the world. So all it's done is adapted and is now the same standard that Avatar 1 did. So it didn't blow my mind
So shouldn't it be
anymore.
a passing grade then for
That's
everybody?
what 5 is a
But his-
passing grade.
His is a 4.5.
The plot was bad, so bad for me.
The plot
really
was
hated it.
fucking.
No, but
I laughed
plot's
at a
important.
part that should be emotional and impactful.
if you take the plot into account, it should still be a passing grade.
No, the reason why it's 4.5 for me is because of the CGI. It would be lower if the CGI
You thought the CGI was
that
not good?
No, but
No, I
the
thought it was
CGI didn't do anything to.
It wasn't
benefited.
it like
The
new
plot was
mind blowing CGI.
I
The
just I
plot
thought
was boring, and the CGI was as good as it should be, and the plot
Thanos
only
looks
said.
just as real as the Navi.
Yeah. Honestly, Thanos looked better because I knew who that actor was, and I was like, "Oh, I know that guy. Oh, they did a good job on that. He's a convincing actor." All the Navi did was like, "Yeah, they exist. Okay." All the graphics.
I
and
just
all of
thought
the
going to the water people and learning their culture and how it's different from the Navi culture in the forest.
Oh, I hated
I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting. It's different.
It wasn't that different though. It was just like instead of dragons,
we're
we
gonna
got whales.
Yeah, but
Just
it's
like the
water,
first movie?
and then the whales have
We're
this gold goo. Goop.
We're gonna reteach
Goop.
you guys everything, just like the first one, but we're gonna pretend that we didn't.
And it
It
was,
was like
yeah.
they did the same thing.
Well,
And
there
I
was a
know that was what they're
generational.
trying to do, but it
There's
was
10
boring.
years or more gap between
13.
the two, so there's a lot of people that probably never watched the first one.
Sure.
Yeah, but
So
the
so
difference is
introducing it again in a different way is not a bad idea.
No.
so
And
the
again,
problem though. Oh, sorry,
Because
I'll
remember,
quickly
this
say the one
4.
thing.
How many movies is he doing? Is he doing 5 or 6?
6.
well, if he's doing more than
Oh,
3,
no,
I'm
sorry,
gonna be
sorry.
real
No,
disappointed.
no, he's doing
not
more than
6,
3.
not 6.
Guaranteed,
I
he's
only
doing
know-
more. Than 3.
What?
Yeah,
I know.
I know
so it's the
5 for
one,
sure, but I don't know if it's 6.
2.
I'm watching 3 and that's it.
You're watching the fire people and you're out.
If it doesn't like go,
If they don't
"Holy
have
shit."
A1 sauce by their meat, you're out.
No, if it doesn't progress past the we're gonna tell the Pocahontas story again about white man comes to an indigenous tribe and fucks everything up, I do not fucking care about this show.
No, that's fair. That's
wanna-
fair. I want to see something different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to leave you guys with one like comparison that I made between The Force Awakens and the original trilogy, or specifically A New Hope. They do something similar, obviously, for Star Wars. They tried to recreate the plot essentially, but the difference between recreating the plot with that and with Avatar 1 and 2 is with the original trilogy and The Force Awakens, it was Disney had just bought them. People were already hating them for doing that, for retconning so much stuff. They needed to do something they knew people were going to enjoy as the new owners of this massive IP. And the best way for them to do it was we're going to give them something that we know they love, but we're going to update it still. We're going to have, updated really nice CGI, but we're also going to keep some practical effects in there for you as well, because we know that's one thing that you guys really liked about the first.
Sure.
With Avatar, it's like he's like, okay, it's been 13 years. Oh, also keeping in mind that the original trilogy and Force Awakens is very, very far apart. This movie, the Avatar 1 and 2, is 13 years. It's far from movies, but it's not massive. Usually
it's not so much that people need to be reintroduced to things.
Yeah,
and also, too,
it's
Avatar has been re-released like 1,000 times.
Yeah. Extended
So, like-
edition, updated 4K look, blah, blah,
and also
blah.
has been updated in the theaters too. Like they've
It was
spent a lot of
re-released
money
in the theaters in October.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
And-
they spent their money making sure that people didn't remember or didn't forget the story, which is not good in the first place. Like,
Yeah,
it was
the
the first.
first
Like that's one thing.
It was
It's
subpar.
all
already-
passable.
I think the first storyline was better than the second storyline because it was different. It was
Yes.
new. It was new.
Well, it
right?
introduced
I didn't
things.
think
It
of it as
def-
new, to be honest. I
Yeah,
thought
and
too
it
many
also-
similarities overall for me.
It also highlighted the importance of how humans connected to fake Navis, right? To the Sully,
Yeah, but
how he connected in that chamber to the fake body.
that was cool. But the Matrix has already been released.
Yeah.
I've already watched the Matrix and I've already watched Fern Gully. This movie
Did
didn't
you
have
watch the
Robin
latest
Williams.
Matrix? Because they screwed Neo up real bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed the
I
last
refuse
Matrix
to watch
too.
it. The Matrix,
I
the Matrix
You
ended a
like
while
the
ago.
last Matrix?
I enjoyed the last Matrix as much as I liked the last Lord of the Rings. I watched it and I was like, yeah, it was fine. I didn't.
Oh, I
No,
don't
no,
know
no, Elvin.
I don't know if I could
Elvin?
ever respect you again.
Elvin, let me clarify. I watched it and I was like, yeah, it was fine. I wasn't like, oh, this is. I watched it as a side piece to the trilogy that already happened. And I was like, here's an extended little story. And I was like, yeah, sure.
It wasn't an extended little story. They
Wait, are you talking about The
changed the
Hobbit?
whole. No. He's
No,
talking
no,
about
I'm
Matrix.
talking about
You know the new Matrix
The-
that came
okay.
out like last year or
the
something?
new Matrix movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. Neil Patrick Harris is in it. And then that was about it.
They
Hold on. I'm not disagreeing with you. Do not, and all of your points about Lord of the Rings, I'm also not disagreeing with any of your negative points about that. Every negative thing that
you
you
mean
said
Rings of Power. Rings
about
of Power.
yeah, Rings of Power, Rings of
Okay.
Power, and the new Matrix movie, all of your negative points and things that you hate about it, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying yes, those are correct. But when I watched it, I watched the Matrix movie, and I was just like, oh, that was fun. They did a couple cool things, and I don't really care. But it was just like, oh, here's a little extra story on a contained story that I love. And when I watched that Matrix movie, I was like, oh, they did a couple cool things. Yeah, he's a video game guy. Oh, that's a cool little aside thing.
My
whatever.
issue with
And then with Rings of Power, I was like, Lord of the Rings, already a contained story. Here's the things I know. Oh, here's a little side thing. Okay. That was entertaining.
So,
I did not love it. I didn't think it was part of the original story. It was just a thing in that universe that was developing that, or had somebody was like, I want to tell a story in this universe. And I was like,
Okay,
there had some good points.
There's some fundamental errors in that in how you perceive these two. One, you are right on. The Rings of Power is a different timeline and a different story than Lord of the Rings, so therefore they are different. I'm not arguing with that. With Matrix, they said that it is connected to the trilogy. At the end, they said Neo wasn't the chosen one. It was the other girl, which that means that Neo was not important at all in the three trilogies. They totally changed the whole Matrix storyline.
I have
completely changed it.
I have.
Nathan. Nathan. Look at your.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's horrible. Do
actually?
not see it. Do not see it. It is horrible.
I have something
it
to
is
say.
Woke garbage at its best. They totally negate Neo.
Not that bad.
They totally negate Neo.
It's fine.
No,
Now,
it's not fine. It's not
it
fine
is,
at all.
It is after I say
this.
The
angel and the devil on each shoulder.
Hold on.
One's telling me to do it. One's saying don't.
We're dealing. So the Matrix is dealing with a real world of the world is not real. The reality that you know is not real. Then essentially, robots take over everything, and everything that we know is fake. That is built by robots. Then some Jesus guy comes in and saves everyone and saves us from the robots. This story, the fourth Matrix, in my head, and this might be just like a rationalization of the story, because like I didn't care about this movie, and when I think of the Matrix, I don't think about this movie. I think of the original trilogy.
Okay, so that's fine.
And hold on. But in a movie franchise and a thematic franchise where reality doesn't exist and we don't know what is real and what isn't, the fourth movie was just an alternate reality in my head.
But in your head, yes. The key point you say in your head, but it's not in your head the story was made for. It was made for everyone to say this does not. Whatever you watch in the trilogies, none of it matters because he isn't the one. So all the trilogy that everybody watched and adored, the Matrix fandom is because Neo was the one.
Right.
And we're
but
told
that didn't
in the
change
it did change. In
movies.
The fourth one, they said, no, you are not the one. She is. So everyone's like, what?
Who was again?
It was the girl.
I don't remember.
Andrew Tate's already ruined the Matrix for me because that's all I could think of when the Matrix.
It fundamentally changed the trilogy's outline.
I don't think it changed the.
Man, you would go and you could Nathan. You could go anywhere in the YouTube world and just type in Matrix and people.
No, don't just watch the movie.
Watch the movie, Nathan, and then you could tell which one of us is right or wrong. Because I'm telling you,
neither of us are right or wrong. I just watched it.
I'm right. You are wrong.
Okay,
I am right.
Sure.
You are wrong. I will 100% say that.
It had some good fight stuff in it. It referenced the
but the key
first
thing
couple
is
movies.
How you said it's in your head, which I respect it. Right?
Yeah.
If you say in your head, it doesn't matter.
My headcanon didn't get ruined by it because everything that they said in the movie,
you're
I was just like, oh, okay, this is another. Also, the movie starts out with Neo not being from the Matrix, and
Lawrence
it's like,
Fishburne is not even in this movie.
No, he's not, and there was budget reasons, and that
what budget reasons?
No, I think he just straight up said, "I don't want to be in this
I'm
movie."
Out. I'm not doing this garbage.
I think he just straight up said, "I don't want to be in this movie."
Yeah.
Do you remember when you
no one should be
said at the start of the
podcast
when something a memorable moment happens, we should clip it for later. I think this is one of those moments.
I am right. He is wrong, or he is wrong.
There we go.
In his mind, he is right. In reality, he is wrong.
No, I'm not wrong
look-
because I still enjoyed the movie and it didn't ruin the
and
first
it's fine.
3
If
movies.
you enjoyed
for
the
me.
movie, that's pretty much all that
I didn't think it
matters.
was mind blowing, and I'm not saying, "Oh, you should go watch The Matrix." But
I
I'm like,
as a
"Ah, this is a
Matrix
cool story."
as a Matrix watcher, when I saw this, I was like,
D-
"What the hell?"
What did you think of the Animatrix?
Animatrix? The Animatrix. What are you talking about? Animatrix?
The Animatrix.
I didn't watch it. Don't care for it.
That is on the same level as this movie.
No,
It was
no,
a
it's not.
bunch of supplementary stories
That's
in
an
the
offshoot.
same universe.
It's an offshoot. Yeah,
This movie,
but
I put in the same category as the Animatrix. The Animatrix
that's
was
fine. You
a
can put it in
bunch
the
of- hold on,
category.
hold
That's
on.
fine.
was a bunch of the same stories in the same universe. Some of them were fucking phenomenal. Some
But
of
did
them were
any
like
of them
meh.
say Neo is not the chosen one?
I don't even remember that part.
What
Like that was just
How do you not remember? It's the most important part.
no. It
They
was just like
literally
a thing
say
in an
you are not
alternate
the chosen one.
universe.
She is.
It starts in a different universe than Neo that we were originally introduced to.
But this one
It-
isn't
it's
in a
like-
different universe. It's in the same universe. They're
But
side
it
by side.
happens- We don't know that for sure because it's all a fallacy. None of this is real. And now they're just going, oh, in this one, he's not the one. And you're like, oh, that's weird. So this is after the fact. And they're like, I don't know. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're kind of doing like a timeline
No.
thing.
I didn't say any of that. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm
They-
saying that that's what I perceived because it wasn't clear in that.
But-
And maybe that's bad writing and whatever. But
Well, it was bad.
regardless,
The movie bombed, by the way. The movie just completely
oh, I know.
bombed.
I pirated the shit out of it. Don't worry. Like, I did not pay for it.
I did watch it on HBO.
Sorry,
Crave.
Sony.
I watched it on Crave. The movie just bombed because it was just garbage. They
Mhm.
totally went woke on this, and they totally negated what Keanu Reeves.
I don't know
built.
that they went
If,
any.
if it wasn't for
woker than the other
Keanu, if it
Matrix
wasn't for
movies.
Lawrence Fishburne, and if it wasn't for Agent Smith, nobody gives a shit about this movie.
Nobody gave
the-
a shit about most of
three-
those actors before the Matrix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They built
Okay,
that
okay.
house. They built that house.
No,
And
They lived in it and profited off of it. They did
Whatever
not
you
build
want
the
to,
house.
however you want to bow wrap this crap. What I'm saying is, what they did at the end of this was it's such a disrespect to Keanu. You know,
He doesn't own this. This has nothing to do
No,
with
it's
him.
not
He was
about
just
owning
the
it.
forerunner.
no, it's not about owning it. It's about Keanu took a risk in his career and said, I'm going to make sure this movie is good. He killed it in the movies. People loved his acting. Lawrence Fishburne, people loved him. They loved Mr. Smith. They loved the CGI. It was revolutionary, groundbreaking.
Everyone
at that
hated.
time.
Most, I would say, general populace did not like Keanu Reeves as an actor before the Matrix.
Yeah, it
He was a laughing stock.
yeah,
for the
Mr.
most part.
Speed, and Bill and Ted. Yes,
Dylan- yeah,
Can I
absolutely.
give you guys a quick little tidbit about the Matrix?
you gonna Pull
this
up
movie?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, I did earlier, and I saw that for the first time I've ever seen the critics and the audience has agreed on a score of 63%.
Wow,
I've never seen
63%.
them do
I
that
think
before.
perfectly adequate review percentage for this movie. It didn't blow my mind, and I was just like, yeah, it was fine.
But
my
the
only
tidbit
issue
that I
with
was-
this movie, like I said, and I've said it over and over again, is you do not get to change what Keanu did in 3 movies at the last second, so you can have that wokeness built into it. That's
Sure.
my problem with it. Is how do you say that you're not the chosen one anymore? Is she is now? What kind
But
of
also-
hot garbage is that?
This is I think a point that Elvin, you and I disagree the most on is when a new thing comes out. I do not think, and it in my head, it does not change the original story that it is based off. If something comes out, and I think this is just me growing up as a Star Wars fan because there was so much garbage Star Wars, and also growing up half as a Star Trek fan too.
Yeah,
Like, as much as my dad introduced me to Star Wars stuff, he introduced me to the same amount of Star Trek stuff. And before, Disney Plus took over, Star Wars and Star Trek were opposites. It was like, all right, the movies are awesome, and then the TV shows are garbage. And for Star Trek, it was like the TV shows
TV
are awesome,
Yeah,
and then the movies are fucking ass. And
Yeah.
like when the original trilogy came out for Star Wars, they were fucking garbage, and then the Star Trek movies were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then Mandalorian came out, and it was like, oh shit, Star Wars shows are fucking awesome. And the TV shows, ass. So like, when a new thing comes out in a canon that I love, if I don't like it, it does not affect the original storyline. And I know you're saying, oh, well, they changed the canon. They changed what Neo means to me or whatever. They changed what the original movies did. It doesn't change that. That still exists.
No,
they're
I think
doing.
you're
Hold on,
misunderstanding.
let me finish.
I'm gonna stop you right now because I've allowed you to talk for a while and you're not making sense anymore right now. So I'm gonna let you stop for a second here, and I'm gonna tell you right now that's not what I mean. When I say something like this, for example, the Matrix thing is it does fundamentally change the history of it. You don't get to do that when somebody like Neo is the character what everyone loved. How do you have the balls to go, hey, Neo, thanks for building those 3 movies out, but you know what? We're gonna cut your legs here and say you're no longer the important character. This person is now. That's not fair, I think, to the fans and everybody who rooted for Neo. When they all
I don't
found out
disagree with that.
That's the issue that I have with it. I'm
But you
okay
can
with
also
change.
just-
I'm okay with change.
No,
so long as
change
it
is
doesn't...
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can just not watch those movies. And this is all.
But I'm not even aware of what happened. When I watched The Matrix, I didn't know this was going to happen. I watched it. I'm like, cool. We get a new story. We get a continuation of Neo's arc. And then they dropped this on at the last second. I was just like, what the hell? Like, what?
Michael, you are the word of the people.
Sipping for... I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Simping for Trinity?
Simping for Trinity?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know,
brother.
simping for...
I have no idea.
Carrie Fisher? No, that's Princess Leia.
Oh.
I don't
Carrie
like sand.
Moore? Is that her name?
I want to give you guys a little
Hold on.
tidbit.
Am I
though,
just getting
from
the
earlier.
names?
Yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
So over the first 5 days of the release of
Carrie Ann
this
Moss.
most
That's
recent
why I'm
Matrix.
getting Carrie Fisher and her mixed up. Carrie Ann Moss and Carrie Fisher. Okay, I'm not just a fucking loser.
This movie, the Matrix 4 Resurrections, received the most unauthorized
Thank you, I'll
downloads
walk,
of any feature.
Michael.
So it was torrented the most. I think it was 32.
Wait, what? Sorry.
32.6% of
Rotten
torrents
Tomatoes
during that-
Rotten Tomatoes has a metric of how many people pirated this movie.
No, I looked that up. Separately.
looked-
Oh, okay. I thought that was the.
That'd be hilarious.
I just about gave the most credit to Rotten Tomatoes. If they have like paid reviewers, but they were like, "This is how many people stole this movie." That's a good metric for them to
That's
carry.
hilarious. That's hilarious.
Sorry, what was the percentage of how many people stole this?
32.6. 32.6.
One of them
That's a
was
lot
one of
of
them was
people.
Justin.
One of them was this motherfucker.
That tells you how bad this movie is. People don't want to even pay for it.
No,
We'd rather
well,
not
and
give
also
your
too,
money.
I didn't pay attention to it in theaters. It was like I watched it. I think I watched it here in this house, and I've only lived here for just over a year. So I watched it in the last year. When
Yeah.
did the movie come out?
Last year?
April of last year, May of last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
All
It
right,
was
I watched
it was highly anticipated. It was highly.
I watched it, I think, in like October or something. So like I did not give, and I fucking love the Matrix movies. I played all the Matrix games. Matrix, the game on Xbox,
What was the main
What-
character?
Tack, and it was a. Oh, you play as Will Smith's wife, or you
Yeah.
can. There
Yeah.
were two characters you could.
And
you
she's
could
the
pick
one that
between-
goes, "Hey, you're not
between-
the one anymore." I was just like,
you-
what?
you-
That's when
you
Will Smith
pick
should have came
between-
and slapped everybody, right?
Hold on, Matrix.
That game had like no
Xbox.
hype. They released like
Dude, that
one
game was
thing,
so
it got a lot of
fucking good.
views.
Yo,
It
okay,
did,
here's
but
the thing.
I heard nothing.
Elvin?
Look at that, my man Gutierrez right
Elvin.
there, baby. End that woke shit.
If you want to question my Matrix fandom, I paid money when I was a fucking teenager to the Matrix MMO. Okay, I paid a monthly subscription
yeah,
to
that
the
is no merit.
Matrix MMO.
That's great, but I'm not talking about your commitment.
No,
to
no, I'm just
video
saying
games.
I'm invested in
No,
this
I'm not
lore
saying that
and
you're not
in this series.
invested.
I'm just proving my as a teenager, as a fucking broke punk who did not own a credit card until I was in my late to mid 20s. As a teenager, I found a way to pay a monthly subscription to play The Matrix Online.
I collected bottles to go watch it in theaters, so I don't know. Like,
Yeah, but I
what does
can't
all
collect-
that mean, anyways? But at the end of the day, though, what they did to him at the end of this storyline was dirty, and I can never forgive them, and I will never ever watch any Matrix movie ever again, because that who are the directors again? Their
The
brother and
Wachowski
sister.
siblings.
Yeah,
Correction,
they can
you
go.
won't pay
They
to
can,
watch one. You'll torrent one though.
Yeah, just like
Thank you, Nathan,
38% of the
getting me
population
into
did for
trouble.
the last movie.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
have a watch party here on Popcorn Chicken, and we'll may or may not pay for it.
No, we're not doing that. No, don't listen to this guy. He's inebriated. Yeah, I know. Like, seriously, like,
Yes.
I don't have a problem with change. I'll be very clear right now. I don't have a problem with change so long as it doesn't destroy what was built prior.
But
to
that's
it.
the thing. Okay,
Because you wouldn't have a
that
fourth
term
movie. You wouldn't have a
it
fourth
doesn't-
movie. Let me finish here.
okay.
You wouldn't have a fourth movie if the first three weren't successful, right? And how were they successful? Because Keanu Reeves, his character was famous, and he did a great job building that character.
No,
So that
because the writing and the directing and the production, because again, that's
sure you can add all that in there.
no. I'm saying
All-
Keanu. Nobody watched this movie, like the original Matrix trilogy. Nobody fucking watched that because Keanu Reeves is in it. In fact, most people didn't watch the first movie because Keanu Reeves was in it. They were like, Keanu Reeves as the main character? Fuck that. I'm not going to watch that.
I
Well,
don't
the
know
guy
if that's
from
true
Bill
or
and
not.
Ted, the guy from Bill and Ted. No, I know this for a fact. Like,
Nathan,
when I
what
saw-
say you?
When I first saw it, I was really young, so I can't. I don't remember the initial reception, but my draw to it was definitely the plot, because that was my first introduction to him as an
And
actor.
what was the plot saying?
Oh, that's a big question. You could write an
that's a
essay
good
about.
question.
But the
Yeah.
plot
Yeah,
is the world real, or is this real? What's real?
Well,
right?
and it was one of the first like
Yeah,
big
it's
blockbuster
questioning reality.
movies.
yeah,
who-
it questioned reality. Yeah,
Sony produced that, right?
I think so. And they did such a good job of it with all the Alice in Wonderland analogies. And,
Totally.
yeah,
Warner Brothers. Sorry.
and
yeah.
yeah, Warner
So
Brothers.
it's WB. So it was a big production house. But like at this point, before the Matrix,
Purple pill.
take the purple pill.
I do every day for my high blood pressure.
Nobody cared about, especially not in an action movie. Like Keanu Reeves was not a selling feature. And also at this point in the late 90s, like we didn't have the box office draw of actors. Like that wasn't a thing at this point. Like you could have
I thought
Arnold,
Bruce
like
Willis
there
was
were,
pretty
there were
big that
five.
time.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. There were five. There was Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think Arnold was kind of dwindling. Well, he was still around. Yeah, Terminator.
Late
Sylvester
90s?
Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
there
yeah,
was
Stallone.
like, let's say the big three as far as action movies.
Nick Cage, obviously.
Kind
Was
of,
he in the
but
90s?
even then,
Nick Cage.
he
Was he more
still had
2000s?
on off time.
Face Off.
Oh, okay,
well-
okay. Well then, what's his name? Danny, from fucking Footloose.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. It's
Chat.
in-
Come on, Footloose.
Not Jack Travolta. What's that?
John
Yeah,
Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta. Yeah, he was
John
big. He was
Travolta.
big,
Yeah, that was it.
John
I called
Travolta.
him
Like,
Jack.
there
my
were
bad.
there
John-
were
Tom Cruise was
very
big too. Yeah, there you
Tom
go.
Cruise. Yeah. There were very seldom big actors who would get you to
Sweet
watch
kids.
a movie because they were in it,
Yeah.
right? And this is again, I think Matrix came out in '99, and I know that it was before it was the '90s because his expiration date on his passport was 2001 September 11th, which a lot of conspiracy theorists are like,
Yeah.
whoa. So that movie came out in the 90s.
Yeah, it did
Actors poll
1999. You got it.
was not a thing. Like there was the big five, and that's like maybe
Yeah.
fucking,
Will Smith?
what's it? No, he was not a big pull at that point. The
Bad
90s?
Boys.
Bad Boys didn't come out till like early 2000s.
Was it?
But that wasn't a big pull movie either.
Hmm.
People went and saw that, and then the internet didn't exist.
Wesley
really.
Snipes?
No, that was a dark
Blade.
movie. Nobody gave a
Blade?
shit about
When did
Wesley
Blade
Snipes.
come out?
Blade came out
That's Blade Runner. Whoops.
97.
Yeah, so that movie was
98.
pretty.
98.
That's a pretty popular movie. I remember watching
But
that one.
that was also on the
I met him, by the way.
Did
I
you
met
actually?
him at the airport, and he signed a $10 bill for a friend of mine. My
98,
friend, like,
yeah.
she was like far away, and she's like, "Can you get his autograph?" So I had nothing with me. She's like, "Here's a $10 bill.
Can you sign a tenner?
So I take a $10 bill to him, and by the way, he's shorter than me. Okay, and he's
Really?
like, "Sure, yeah, he's 5'7" or 5'8"
Really?
max.
Wow.
Max. He's not an inch taller than that. I tell you that right now. He's a short
But he's
guy.
pretty like
No.
stocky.
It's all camera works and angles.
Well, I
Wow.
mean, it's been 30 years.
Yeah. No. I met him during early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
In 2000, I think actually in year 2000 is when I met him.
All right. So he had a big fuck off trench coat in the movies. So
Yeah.
But
And
like,
they
that's what I'm saying. Like at that time, like there was like Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. Like
yeah.
if you heard of an actor being in a movie, like there was the big five, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves at that point was a comedy. He was all people knew him for. Speed.
What about
Most
Die Hard?
people didn't see him. Die Hard didn't become a cult classic. Like
no,
it
what was the actor's name? I can't remember.
Bruce Willis.
No,
Yeah.
no, sorry, Die Hard. What's that Scottish one?
Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Braveheart?
Who is it again?
Mel
Um,
Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Was
Mel
he
Gibson.
popular?
Yes, but not
Yeah, a
for
couple good
action
movies.
movies. He was in a bunch of dramas and stuff.
Lethal Weapon, right?
Yeah, Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also too, Danny Glover. That was Predator.
Mhm,
Predator
mhm.
2 was garbage. So then
Mhm.
people stopped watching that. Right?
Yeah.
Predator 1, fucking awesome. You get to see
Oh.
Danny Glover drive drunk as shit and fight a predator. Predator 2 was garbage. Nobody saw that. Then Lethal
Danny
Weapon,
Glover
like,
wasn't in Predator 2 or 1.
I think
that
it
was the
Donald
guy-
Glover.
Donald Glover. Yeah. I was like,
Oh,
what?
Wait, no.
No, it wasn't Glover at all. It was the guy who played Creed in Rocky.
No, Danny Glover was in Predator. Oh, no, he was in Predator 2.
Yeah, he was in Predator 2.
Oh, the guy that goes, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Danny Glover was in Predator 2. Predator 1 was just
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm not. I
Carl
swear.
Weathers. Carl
Be-
Weathers and
I'm not saying that 5'5" is short and not worthy. I'm just
No,
saying
we're
that.
just saying
I'm just
that
saying I was shocked.
Wesley
to see-
Snipes was
because
short.
when you watch Blade, he looks 6'2", right?
Yeah.
So when I saw him in person and he's shorter than me and I'm 5'8", and I'm like, are you his brother or like who are you, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, my
Are
name's
you
Wesley
stunt
Snipes.
double?
My
Well,
name's
like Tom
Wesley
Cruise
Snipes.
is pretty short
Yeah.
apparently as well.
Yeah, Tom Cruise
Yeah,
is short. Yeah,
Tom Cruise is like 5'7".
But
or
they
something.
make him
Yeah,
look
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's taller.
Yeah.
It's all the camera work.
yeah. Michael says he was pretty popular.
Mel
back
Brooks was pretty popular back in the day. Yeah, Mel Brooks is one of my favorite actors of all time, Michael. Period.
then.
Absolutely. Young Frankenstein. Oh,
Okay,
I
in
quote
the
that
90s,
daily.
there's nobody other than Al
Okay,
Bundy.
anyway,
Okay, Al
so-
Bundy was my favorite.
so in the 90s, in that time, like actors, like nobody gave a shit about Keanu Reeves. So like the entire reason why that movie flourished was the story and the
The story about a man who is.
I mean, the
chosen
biggest
one.
thing was the story. Like that, the
Yeah,
writing
Neo
and the directing.
Neo being the chosen one.
Totally. Also, too, there is the original writer. Actually, this came out recently. There was a woman who wrote a book that The Matrix is based on, she also wrote, hold on.
We are going to wrap it up in 5 minutes. I do have to get up early. Oh, yeah, they wanted Will Smith and Neo. I remember that. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, you're right.
That would be
Yeah.
so weird.
That would slap, as the
imagine-
young ones would say.
Yeah, I
That
was
would
gonna say
slap.
like all the fight scenes. He's ready
That
for
would
that.
slap. I do want everybody in the chat to come join us on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Look, it's Sunday night. You're winding down. Come hang out with us at 9 p.m. We're going to talk about The Last of Us. That show is going to be insane. I pray to God it'll be insane because I'm going to go insane if it isn't. I have big expectations for that.
The address to hang out with us will be down below. We'll show it.
Yeah, Nathan, you
I'm
better
sure
come
we
out because
know.
Justin is not going to come. Justin is.
Oh,
gonna
I
be
want
busy.
to. I just need to wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, right?
You just tell him, get
Yeah.
out of my way. Sunday has to be open at 9 p.m. The bars close at 8:30, and I'm heading
Here's
home
the thing.
at 9.
Okay, there's something
I'm
recently
worried the hype
revealed.
is building.
The original writer for what the Matrix was is also the same writer for the Terminator, and she has come out saying they are linked.
Yeah, she's high.
No, that's her story.
Yeah.
So she's saying
okay.
Skynet, like eventually,
Don't-
like
She's just trying to get
They
her name
win?
on the open world here because her
And
her
she
career,
should. She
her
has not
career's
been credited.
her career's in a downturn and it's over.
I would
Wait,
say
People,
the
these people are
opposite.
grasping as straws to be relevant.
But
That's
wait,
all it is.
I just want to ask this. So she's saying that eventually Skynet like succeeds fully somehow, even though they got defeated by like
Skynet.
John.
No, the
And
Matrix
then
is the sequel
make-
to the Terminator.
Yeah.
is
Like I
the
said,
equal?
Nathan, these people are
Wait,
trying
wait,
to
I'm
grasp at
confused.
straws.
So
The
the
sequel.
Matrix, so Terminator is the prequel. So Terminator, all
yeah, I
that
get
shit
that.
happens, then Skynet succeeds and then creates the Matrix.
But the thing is, Skynet, how could they have succeeded when John defeated the machines?
But did
The whole
they?
point of it was
Didn't
that
you watch
John
the
did
last?
defeat them.
Didn't you watch the last Terminator where they said John Connor doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver shows
Well, yeah,
up or
they
some
changed
shit.
that.
I don't know.
They retconned that nonsense and made it woke too. It
Yeah, he
was
became
so
a
good.
robot, didn't he?
No, he doesn't exist anymore. It's a female lead, a
Yeah,
Spanish
no.
girl.
Yeah,
She's
No,
the female
it's
leader.
Oh,
now.
Jane
sorry,
Connor.
I'm thinking of the
It's
other
Jane
one
Connor.
that they did.
And then they still bring
the
Arnold back.
TV show? That was ass.
No,
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the
That
one
was
that they
ass.
had with Arnold. Let me look it up quickly.
Yeah, they
Um,
got rid of John Connor. What a load of shit that was.
Oh, you're doing a graveyard shift? What's your shift, man? I used to work those a lot, which is
Yeah, I
why I'm
used to go home
terrible
at
at
3
fucking
a.m.
sleeping.
3 a.m. I used to go.
I used to
home.
do
I'm
7 to 11.
Woo!
I'm mixing up Terminator Genesis right now with
Mm.
You
Dark
mean
Fate,
11
I
to
think.
7?
Oh no, 11 to 7. Yeah, that was it.
I was like, what? You can work at 7-Eleven.
No, I used to work at the Days Inn. I was the night shift
Nice.
hotel manager.
I did Denny's actually till 4 a.m.
I did Denny's too.
Yeah, 4 a.m. The morning crew came, and then I was out of it.
I same shifts. I got hired at the Days Inn, which was across the street from the Denny's.
Yeah, they're owned by
and-
the same franchise. Yeah,
Are they?
yeah, they're owned by.
I didn't
yeah.
know that. I literally
Actually,
just
no,
went across the
Sandman.
street.
Sandman and Denny's are owned by the same.
Oh, Sandman was across the street, also from the hotel.
Yeah.
But I went to the Days Inn and I was like, "Hey, I have a year of experience of fighting crackheads and drunk people," and they were like, "You're hired. You're in." And they were like, "What
Oh.
self-defense do you have?" And I was like, "I've been doing kung fu for like the last 8 years." They're like, "Fuck it, you're good. Yeah, you could headbutt crackheads. That's what we need."
I
And
just
then
imagine you, like when you're like, "Oh, I did this for years." I could just imagine like a street fight, like I don't know, like a little boxing ring somewhere downtown East Side. That's what it sounds. You're describing it like that. I was fighting them down.
no, it was that, but in a staircase.
Yeah,
After I quit Denny's, I got a securities license, and then my first gig was
Those don't
underground-
exist in Cranbrook.
My first gig was underground rave concerts.
No,
Really?
My job was to apprehend drugs, speed, and all those paraphernalia. So all I had to do was just shake the guys with their jeans, heavy jeans, their
upside
waist,
down.
and it just all drops right down to the ground.
That's why you duct tape it
And
to your balls.
if they slip me enough cash, I just look the other way.
Yeah. You
And I
either
made a
slip the
killing. I made a
cash-
killing doing that as security.
Yeah, you either slip in cash or you just tape it to your bollocks.
The best is when they try to get rough and they think that I'm the only one there, and then I'm just whistle, and then
Yeah.
seven massive
Seven
guys
other giant dudes
just come
show
next to
up.
me like, yeah, let's try that
Sup?
again.
9:45 to 6 a.m. That's not bad. That's a
That's good.
pretty,
That's good, man.
like
yeah,
6 a.m. You can go to sleep and then wake up at
Yeah, see, I was in security too. I feel you.
8:30. Wait. 8:33 p.m. Teachers Day. Do
that's
you
rough.
do that at the same time?
Whoa.
Do you accidentally forget what job you're at and then just headbutt a fucking 9-year-old?
Oh my God,
Do you just
stop
put
that.
you put a
Guards-
7th
guards
grader
are
in an
big
arm
guys.
bar and say you're not supposed to be here? Does that happen? Because I mean,
You just chicken wings them out of there, right? Chicken wings
sleep
them out of there.
deprivation's a fucking hell of a drug, dog.
No, you're right, man. I was a zombie for a lot of night shifts.
Well,
Yeah.
I started doing night shift because I had insomnia.
Oh man, yeah.
And
There were days
working-
where I went 2-3 days without sleep
3 days, you see some shit.
because when the sun comes up, it's impossible for me to sleep, man.
I'm
Oh,
lucky.
yeah.
I work in a
Yeah.
pub, so people get too drunk to last the night.
Do you have to wing
Okay.
them out?
The only time I've ever actually had someone that couldn't walk, his friend like ditched him because
Oh, what a douchey friend!
his friend ditched him because
I
he
would
couldn't
never
pay.
ditch Justin, even if
And he's
we were watching Matrix together. I still would take him home.
so what happened was the friend
Yeah, I'll still
said,
make good jokes about it.
Yeah,
the friend said, "Oh, we don't have any cash. I'm gonna go. My friend will stay here and wait."
Oh.
I'm gonna go get cash.
And
What
he
happened was the
never
guy that
spoke
went-
to him again.
He passed out in a ditch, and
You should
Poor-
take
wait, the
pictures.
friend who said he's gonna go and
He
pay?
didn't make it. He didn't make it.
so he didn't make it anywhere. He lost his phone, so
Oh
he
my
couldn't call
God.
us or anything.
Late night
Um,
call. The late night special is awesome, by the way. Right now,
And eventually, the guy that passed out in the store, for the record, they did not have much to drink, but they were really
They
lightweight.
pre-gamed a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they must have
Oh.
and they were able to hold it in until like 2. I think they only had 3 drinks, and then they were
Yeah.
just done. But on the third one, after the guy left, there's one guy who started sleeping, and we basically had his wallet. We like took a photo of his ID in case he couldn't pay, and it
Yeah.
turned out he was just scanning like the wrong card, and the whole time, and eventually he could pay for the whole thing.
And then you were like, "Hey, your buddy ditched you. Never talk to him again."
Well, the thing was that
And
No,
you
no,
we,
the
wrote
buddy
that
was
down
trying to
in a
get money,
Post-it
but
note
buddy
and
felt-
put it.
well, like, we eventually did close the pub, and the guy obviously we had to kick out. We're like, "Do you have a place to go home?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm busing." It's like, "Oh, okay, they're kind of closed, but sure." We walk out, and he's
Says
just like,
every
walking around
drunk
the
person
parking
ever.
lot.
Yeah, I got it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
And like, there's no taxis at that time because it was really
what-
late.
So what did you guys
Yeah.
do?
What was
Left
it?
him for dead.
Eventually, someone came for him, but it was like he was out there for a while.
Damn.
It was, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, that's crazy. People do silly things when they're drunk, man.
yeah.
Silly things. Have a game plan in place.
You don't drink. What are you talking about?
I didn't say me. I said people.
Oh,
people.
yeah.
I said have a
sorry.
game.
Telling
I-
people to have a
yeah,
game
have a
plan.
game plan in place, right? Like,
I thought you said I
Absolutely.
have a game plan. In
no.
place. I'm like,
For the
What are you
one
talking
time
about?
that he drinks.
I
he's
am
like,
the game plan.
I got the
am,
plan.
I am the game plan.
Yeah.
People call me
Well,
when they're drunk.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you.
That's
I
okay.
can-
AirPods have died.
That's why you get
Well, we can hear
wired
Oh,
stuff.
there we go. Okay, I
We can
charged
hear
one
you.
side for a minute now, so now I
When
can
are
hear
you
you.
gonna get wired headphones? I thought we gave you some.
Oh, 1 moment. So I do have wired head.
He's gonna plug in his wired headphones right now.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say, but
By
they,
the time he
they
does
take
that,
up
we're
a
ending the
USB.
show.
They take up a USB that is currently
Yeah,
his
yeah, you're right,
Bluetooth they're
right, yeah.
using.
Yeah, no, I don't have
I'm gonna
wired.
get you some so you can plug
That's
it into
fine.
the
We
mic.
were just making fun of you the whole
Oh,
time.
I do have wired, but they're my gaming headset. They're massive.
That's okay. Look at these things, man. These beauties are huge.
These
There.
are some nice Sennheiser.
These are my
They
favorite. Barra Dynamics. They're my favorite.
Bea
Oh,
Dynamic.
okay.
Nathan, what kind of German headphones do you have?
These are
I have
aliens,
ich habe eine Sennheiser.
Sennheiser, very nice.
Du habe eine Bea Dynamic. Verstanden. Huh?
I really thought Audio Technica was good, but I don't like the way it pushes into the ear hard.
Audio
Over-
Technica is really good.
Yeah, I have them.
every headphone company you need to try on first. I have giant fucking saucers under my ears, and these are the only ones that don't hurt me.
Yeah, I
for
like the
extended periods
suede.
of time.
I don't like leather, so suede is amazing for me.
It's just how your head is shaped,
Yeah.
and the pressure.
So I've had this is my second pair of them. I swear by them. They're the best headphones. I have like 7 or 8 headphones from different companies. And this is the best by far.
There was a really cheap there's a headphone company called KOSS, like KOSS.
Yes, I remember them. I had their CD players.
So there was headphones that they made, and they kept remaking them. And they looked like they were from like the early 80s, but they kept re-updating their drivers and everything, so they sounded really good. And they were just these tiny little, actually I'll show you a picture. They look fucking rad. And I kept buying them, and I would mix on them. I mixed like Grammy award-winning albums on these fucking headphones. These KOSS headphones.
Yo, those look sick.
But it was just because I got used to how they sound. And obviously I would use like studio reference monitors and stuff like that. But like I could wear these for 12 hours a day. And it was this little foam bit at the top that was like above your ears that would help displace the weight.
Yes.
And like,
and then that was awesome.
I just got used to how they sound. They felt great. They have like legitimately a good like frequency response. But like I helped mix like Tegan and Sarah, like 5440, and it's like they're $50 headphones. Like as long as you get used to them, and if they're comfortable, that's what matters most. And as long as they're like above the $20, actually, how much are these?
67.
Yeah, they're like $70, whatever. As long as you get past like the $20 threshold, like everything sounds fine. Like some headphones will be more bassy, some will be more trebly, more mid, whatever. But as long as you get used to the sound, you go, oh, I know these headphones are super low endy, so I'm gonna take some of that out. But unless you're a fucking engineer producer, like you don't need to worry about that. So just get headphones that are comfortable. That's all that matters. Fuck.
On that note, we are very comfortably ending the show. It is the longest podcast we've ever done or show.
Yeah, because the finale of Willow was so
good, it's so riveting. If you are joining us live, go back to the beginning and then forward real quickly an hour into the show, because then you'll remove all the Willow talk that we did.
We
do not watch Willow
12
unless you want good humor in the wrong way. Then watch Willow. If you have nothing to do, still don't watch Willow. Definitely watch The Bad Batch, especially episode 3. Fantastic show.
One of the best episodes.
Yeah. One of the best, exactly. Something that we
unanimous
all can agree on.
From all of us.
Yeah, don't watch Avatar in the theaters. Watch it in your big screen at home, and eat a fish fillet while you're doing it, and don't feel bad about it.
Hell yeah.
Don't watch the Matrix movie 4 unless you want it only in your head, which is pretty much
head canon's fine.
Which is pretty much how Matrix works, anyways. But do watch us all the time, because we appreciate you guys, and also we need you to watch us so that we can be relevant on the YouTube algorithm. Our numbers matter.
Hit the like button.
Yes,
you're still here.
Subscribe, and tell everybody you know, even if they don't like us. Just tell them we're awesome.
Especially if you don't like them.
They probably won't like me, but you know what? 2023, I am very positive. Unlike these two, who are very negative.
And I'm pretty.
Yes, you are. I will not deny that. That is a positive way of thinking things. Do join us at 9 p.m. Pacific time this Sunday, where we kick off The Last of Us. Do join us on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. where we have our A&R Weekly. And this show is always on Wednesday nights. And bi-weekly on Saturday mornings, we have what's called Mighty Morning. We talk about 80s, 90s, and early 2000 cartoons and shows.
Why
So
don't you
there's a
look at the
lot
camera
of.
while you're addressing the audience.
Sorry, I'm so used to reading some stuff out that I'm trying to remember here. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys. We have a ton of things that we do on a weekly basis. Show us some love, like and subscribe. Tell the world, because we want everybody coming here and having a good time. And yeah, so say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Somehow Palpatine
I knew you were gonna do that.
returned.
Adios.